Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Welcome to episode 103 of the ItsObviousGaming podcast. I'm your host, Preston Pugh, and I'm joined by my two best friends, Garrett Drake.
Hello, boys. It's good to be here.
And Jacob Alka.
What's up, man?
Gentlemen, it's a pleasure to be with you here this Saturday afternoon. How's your week been?
Just fine, Preston. Nothing exciting happening in my life other than video games, but the video games were quite nice. That's all for me. How about you, Jacob?
Several exciting things happened for me this week. First off, you guys get new products all the time, right? Like, for example, for me, I got the Switch this week, which is really exciting. But for some reason, when I get new products,
New products?
Yeah.
That just sounds fun.
Whenever I get them, I don't want to use them, like, right when I get them. It's this weird thing. Like, I got my Switch in the mail, like, UPS drove up, I was like, yes, here's my Switch. So I went and got it from him, took it back inside. I was like, you know what? I need to wash my car. So I did that.
You know what really pisses me off about you, Jacob? You're the same guy that when we're playing Diablo.
Yeah, you don't want to look at your loot.
Preston
right
and I
away,
get some sick loot. We're like, sick, I want to check out the tool. You're like, no, guys, wait till the end of the dungeon or something. We're like, no.
That's another example kind of like that, I guess. Yeah. So I always feel like I need to finish something or I have something to do before I can enjoy my fun things.
I can't even make it to through my front door before I'm like ripping
I thought you guys might be the exact
same thing. When I got my Switch, I had to go to work and I sat in my car for half an hour and played Zelda before I went there. So
yeah, it took me like several hours to get everything hooked up and everything. No, well, not hooked up, but I had a problem with my digital games.
Okay.
Because I got the GameStop bundle, so I had to redeem them through their website or something to get my games. Mm-hmm. And when I did that, it said I had no order history. So I had to go through customer service and all this bullshit.
Oh, that sucks.
And I finally got it all worked out 2 hours later. I was on hold for 30 minutes.
My goodness.
It was a nightmare. So I barely got to play the night I got it.
Yeah, I had to deal with them getting my Master Edition.
Yeah, it's horrible. But I have a Switch now. I've been playing a little bit of Mario Kart, and it's awesome.
Did you get an external SD card?
Not yet. I am very soon, though.
Okay, because you can't just swap it over. You're going to have to delete the game and re-download it.
I know.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
Well, Jacob, it seems you shot yourself in both feet this time.
Yeah.
But how you liking it?
Oh, that's awesome. I can't wait to get to Zelda. I'm going to finish Persona 5 first.
Okay. Good call. You're near the end, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm 6th palace.
Nice.
So.
Amen, brother.
Is that where you are too?
Let me go ahead and ask you guys this, since I can say it now.
Okay.
Justifiable 1986 wants to know, how far are each of you in Persona?
I am 87 hours in.
87 hours?
I think I'm 80-something as well.
I am just started the 6th palace.
So same with Jacob then, right?
Well, I think I'm a quarter or halfway through.
See, I get through the palaces in one day.
Oh, really?
So
you swap out members and stuff?
Yeah. And I have a lot of SP. I have the band that after every move you gain 7
See, I haven't bought
SP.
That yet.
Wow,
that's
really
awesome.
expensive. It's like 100,000.
I wasted all my money on buying upgrades and guns and stuff.
Well, getting money's really easy. I found out a really good way to get money. In Mementos, if you have a skill that allows you to confuse enemies and that particular persona has high luck, if you confuse him and you have high luck, he drops a ton of cash at you. So I have over $1 million.
What?
Yeah. That's not even if you get your luck all the way up to 99, you can get max amount of money in 5 minutes. So, but
what do you mean luck?
Your luck is one of the skills of your persona.
Is it?
Yeah, there's 5 or 6 skills. There's agility, strength, magic.
Wow.
You must be one unlucky bastard.
Yeah, I never pay attention to those stats. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, luck has to do with, I know that one of the things is if you confuse an enemy, the higher your luck is, the more money they'll drop at you. So right now, if I confuse a boss, he'll drop around 45 or 50,000. What's the money called?
Yenny?
Is it yen?
Yen?
I think it's
just
Yenny.
yen? Okay.
I was thinking Zenny from Dragon Ball Z.
Okay.
Or Mooney.
Yeah. So
Mooney? What's that from again?
It's Kingdom Hearts.
That's right.
So I have a decent amount of cash right now. But yeah, I just once I hit the palace, I'm not going to stop, and things have come full circle for the most part, they're about to. And upon researching, because I am going after this platinum, so I'm not spoiling anything for myself, but I am looking at what I need to do in this playthrough and what I need to do in my next one. And my main goal for the playthrough I'm currently on is to max out all my social stats, because I'm not going to max out all my confidants. I'm not going to.
Yeah,
I'm running.
Can you on your first playthrough?
Yeah, you can.
Wow.
You just have to follow something. I have quite a few of them maxed out, like Makoto, Ryuji, On, Mishima, the teacher.
I have On and Ryuji. That's it.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
I have like quite a few. There are just like the speaker, Yoshida. There's just a few of them that I haven't really messed with for a while. And I got a text message from Yoshida saying like, hey, I can't talk to you after the middle of November, once the elections start again. I'm not allowed to talk to you. So that was pretty much just like, hey, you need to finish this up. So I'm like, no, it's like 13 days until you're done. So I'm not even going to bother with you. So my main goal right now is to maximize all my social stats. So when I go into the next playthrough, I don't have to wait until I can talk to the confidants that require you to have a higher social stat. Like to talk to Futaba, you have to have like max kindness to talk to eventually get past like stage 5 or 6 with Makoto. You have to have max charm. To even talk to Makoto, you have to have a high knowledge. So there are some confidants that you have to have a high level with a social stat. So I'm just going to max those out. And I've almost have all of them maxed out. I have charm maxed. I have knowledge maxed. I have proficiency maxed. So I just have kindness and guts left.
I just have charm so far.
Maxed. Yeah. So, that's pretty much where I am. I'm assuming I'm coming towards the end. Oh, yeah, my initial point is looking into what I need to do. There are 7 palaces, not 6.
Yeah, I've heard that there were 7.
Yeah, so I had heard from somebody in our Discord that there were only 6, so I was going with that mindset. But yes, there are 7.
I have a feeling I know who the 7th one is.
Well, yeah, pretty obvious. But this 6th one, I'm just very interested to see, the entirety of the story has been like a flashback or like him telling a story. So I'm assuming once we're past the 6th palace, it's going to actually show what's going on after. So I'm very interested to see what's going on. And I'm still, like I said, I'm very surprised how this game, I'm still just like completely infatuated by this game. Going at 90 hours is so good.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like in this game, I'm not bored at all. Like I'm not sick of it. But in Skyrim, I was kind of getting like, this is kind of draining me.
Yeah, I'm like coming towards the end and I'm thinking on my next playthrough, which obviously I'll be skipping through all the cutscenes, all the dialogue, because I know everything that's going on. So I'm sure it'll be significantly faster. But I'm still looking forward to doing that with like really high level personas. Having all these social stats maxed out, so I'll be able to say some things I wasn't able to say the first time. I'll be able to get that trophy or you're like ace a quiz or whatever, because my knowledge is or become top of the class now that my knowledge is completely maxed out. It'll be interesting
going back and doing the Kamoshida Palace. It's been so long.
Yeah, that seems like a whole nother game ago. It's just like you're freaking like 60, 50 hours past that point. So, but yeah, still going hard in Persona. I'm assuming this coming week I will at least have beat it and probably will have started my second playthrough for the platinum, and I definitely will be getting it. Doing my research, I was a little bit intimidated by getting the platinum, but having gone through, for me to platinum a game this big, I like have a Google document, like a spreadsheet out, checking off things as I go, which trophies correlate with each other and stuff. So after I've done my homework doing that, it's not as intimidating or as daunting as I initially thought it was. It's not too bad to platinum. Definitely way easier than I did the same thing with Persona 4, and it was just a lot more involved than this one is.
Hey, did you even finish 4?
No,
neither.
I had the ending.
I
had the ending spoiled.
Oh yeah,
like the complete twist, like who's the murderer? It was spoiled for me, so that kind of like
defeated the purpose
for me. Still a freaking great game. I don't know. Maybe one day while I'm traveling, there's nothing on the Switch, I'll finish it on the Vita.
Yeah, there's always Mario Kart on that Switch.
Yeah, I know.
You got arms too,
and arms.
Yeah, you know it, dude. Then Mario will probably be out.
Yeah, you're
right.
So. But yeah, how have you played anymore?
Not yet. I might play a little this week because I still have Zelda to do. Obviously, I've been talking a lot about Zelda, but I'm at a point now where all I have to do is find the rest of the shrines. And I've gotten to a point where I will find some of them, especially the shrine quests. I've been doing some of the shrine quests I've had backlogged. But there are the handful of shrines that I just cannot find. Yeah. I've seen every tower. I've scoured the lands, and there's just many that I have not found yet, so I might just YouTube it and find the rest, because I want to find all those before the final battle, which, speaking of the final battle, I was listening to a podcast earlier, and they were talking about Hyrule Castle.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize how simplified it is if you have all the abilities to just get through it, which isn't necessarily disappointing, but they did make a good point. It'd have been awesome to see Hyrule Castle be like the ultimate Zelda dungeon, just culminate, building upon all of the Divine Beasts and be like, this is the final big dungeon to get to the boss. That'd have been cool, but... Yeah.
I mean, you don't even have to explore.
Yeah, I've heard you can literally just streamline it to the boss and kill him.
You can use the ability
to fly up.
Yeah, exactly, and get there super easy. I just, wanting to look at every single thing and place in that game. I completely just ran around the entire thing, found everything. That's how I found the Hylian shield.
Right. I think that's what I'm going to do, is just at least explore it first.
And it's cool because you've never been able to just freely explore Hyrule Castle before. Like, you can go to Zelda's room, read her diary, just do all this, go to the library.
She say some raunchy things about Link in there.
Yeah.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
She doesn't seem very modest in this game.
No,
I don't know if you've gotten that impression. She seems pretty wild.
Yeah, pretty wild.
So.
But there is a shrine in Hyrule Castle down in the bottom level, like the grotto for the boats to come in. Yeah, so there is one there.
That's cool.
So that's also gives you incentive to
explore,
to search around there. Yeah, there's like a good 2 or 3 or 4 shrines like surrounding Hyrule Castle too.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, if you haven't completely checked around,
I haven't even been in there yet. I've been afraid to go over there.
Yeah, well, there's some shrines in there. Okay, so just to load up on some ancient arrows.
Yeah, I heard that's
you'll
key.
You'll be good to go.
Cool.
So. But that's cool. I played pretty much, if you just want to start like we typically do, what else have you been playing?
I played a ridiculous amount of Mario Kart. You remember I think it was Tuesday night or Wednesday night. I think it was Wednesday night we streamed some Mario Kart for a bit.
Yeah, it was Wednesday.
Well, I was not ready to stop playing when you had to get off, so I kid you not, Preston. I think we stopped streaming around 8:30, 9 o'clock-ish. I played till 6:30 the next morning nonstop.
Oh, wow.
I just couldn't stop playing Mario Kart. I loved it. Played a ton online. I completed all of the main Grand Prix, 3-star gold trophied all of them. But now I'm working on the mirror tracks to get the gold cart. I think I have a few more cups left for that. Then I'll start nicking away at the time trials. I think time trials the wheels. And then the glider, you have to get 5,000 total coins, if I'm not mistaken.
I've never been a fan of time trials. Time trials.
Yeah.
Mario Kart.
Watching the ghosts, you can actually see what they do, and they kind of reveal all the little shortcuts and like how to effectively go through these.
It's like after an attempt or two, you know what you need to be doing.
Yeah.
Just watching them.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, but ton of Mario Kart, loving that. And I love playing online too. I win more often than not online, which is hilarious because I can't beat you for some reason, but I can beat everyone online.
Because I'm the master.
I guess. Either that or perhaps the tables turn with the items when I play, because I seem to get all the good items when I play online. I don't get hit by nearly as much. That lightning, though, I've seen a lot more lightning than I have been when I first played the game.
Like started on Wednesday. You're getting like lightning twice per.
We're just going through a storm right now, Preston. We just got to come out on the other end. I'm pretty sure our heads held high.
Pretty sure an update went live yesterday for Mario Kart Sora, so maybe they patched out the lightning.
Maybe
that happens all the time.
But other than that, all I played was Farpoint. I know you both have also played Farpoint. So.
I have.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
I think it's really cool. I like it a lot. And now Jacob has played beyond where I have. I've only played the beginning with the assault rifle, but I did play a co-op match for about 5 minutes before we shot our most recent video. And I didn't realize there were aliens in the games that shoot back at you.
Yeah, I didn't realize that either.
Yeah, which is so cool. I don't know if that's only in co-op or the campaign. I haven't played a whole lot of the campaign yet. But that was really awesome, running and taking cover behind a rock and have aliens shooting at me and me leaning around a corner to shoot back at them. That was exciting. So I can't wait for that. If that happens in the campaign, that's cool. But even in just co-op, if that's it, that's awesome. Like I literally had one sniping at me and I was hiding behind a rock like, oh my gosh, and like blind firing at them and stuff. It was very cool. But I'm enjoying it. I think it feels really good to shoot the PS aim controller or the VR aim controller. It's very fluid. Like I said, it's just everywhere I move, it moves. I mean, I can shake my arm violently and my gun does the same thing, which is nice. And it feels accurate. And I had to calibrate the controller and the VR headset beforehand. And after you do that, it's flawless. Yeah. So how you liking that shotgun? I know you've used the shotgun too, haven't you, Preston?
Yeah.
So I've not shot that thing yet.
I'm pretty far in the story.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm far enough to where I haven't gotten another weapon yet.
Okay.
But I think I'm about on the 4th mission, I think. I just fought the first boss.
How'd that go?
Is he tough?
Yeah, I actually died a lot.
Well, I'm going to have to be fighting him, so great.
Yeah. He's, probably, I think. But he's really cool. He's massive. Like, had to look up
I
at
bet
him.
I
He's
know who it
freaking
is.
huge.
That's
He's
cool.
Yeah, he's the dude that
that was at like the ceiling of that cove.
Yeah. He's pretty cool. Once you figure out how to fight him, like once I like got it's getting a rhythm down in terms of his weak spot and hitting his weak spot. But once I figured that out, it took me like 3 minutes to beat him.
I'm gonna get so mad. I can already feel it.
The game is way harder than I thought it was going to be.
It is.
There
Jacob struggled in the mission he was in because he got swarmed by.
At the very end. Yeah, that part
I
took me a
hated
good 2 or 3 tries.
Mm-hmm.
But I switched. I'm not using the click anymore. I switched it to smooth.
Oh, I'd throw up.
And then
I did that.
I turned the sensitivity down to like 2,
Uh-huh.
so you're not moving ridiculously fast. But I've gotten really accustomed to it. So I'm surprised I'm not getting nauseous or anything, because I'm like strafing hardcore and like turning really quick. So once you get used to it, and I've actually been doing the time trial thing, and that's been a lot of fun. I did the first level like 4 or 5 times, like blazing through it, getting high multipliers, and for the life of me, I can't get 3 stars, which is what a trophy requires. So I have no clue how you're supposed to get 3 stars. I don't know if once you eventually get the better weapons, if that helps you out or something.
Perhaps.
But I tried like for a good 2 hours to 3-star the first mission, but I could only get like 2.
I'm just hoping there's a sniper in the game.
There is. I think so.
Okay,
there's one called
I
like
researched it at all.
I looked at the names of the guns, and there was one. It wasn't called a sniper. It was called like a sharp shot or something that I kind of assumed it was a sniper. I don't know. Could be wrong.
Dude, that sounds so cool to snipe something in VR, looking down a scope. That'd be awesome. Very excited.
Hopefully that's what it is.
But you liking it, Jacob, despite having that struggle towards the end of that mission?
Yeah, I think the game's just all right, but just the technology itself.
Oh,
the
yeah,
controller is
dude.
the coolest part.
If you were playing this as a standard first person, it'd be like the
incredibly
most dated,
stupid.
like awful thing. It's purely just having that VR component with the aim controller just makes it so unique, and it works. You know, I'm not going to say it's 1,000% flawless, but like, you know, for what it is with PlayStation VR and just having that, you know, one camera and stuff, like it works really good. I know a lot of people have had a lot of issues with staying inside your box, but I've seen a lot of people like fully extending their arms and stuff. I'm like, no, just stay in your little bubble like you're supposed to, and it works great.
Right. Do you play standing up or do you sit down as well?
I've sat down the entire time.
Okay.
I'm tempted to stand up just to see what the difference is like.
I feel like standing up is how you should play it. I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen all the demos of people playing it. They're standing up, but I just don't want to sit
Last time I played a VR game standing up, it did not go well.
Batman?
Batman, maybe it felt cool while I wasn't nauseous, but as soon as I became nauseous, I think I felt that way quicker standing up. Granted, that's right when I started playing VR, so I've gotten more used to it now. I mean, we played all the way through Resident Evil, and by the end, I didn't feel that way at all. We were running around everywhere.
Yeah, I think Resident Evil helped us out a ton going into this.
Yeah, that's a great
game.
way to get used to it. But while we're talking about this, let me bring up D. Smitty's question here. It's pretty suitable for the situation we're in. He says, "Hey fellas, I'm really enjoying the Farpoint Let's Plays. The game looks like a lot of fun. That being said, would you consider it your favorite or the best PSVR experience you've had? What are some of your others? Batman VR and Battlefront X-Wing Mission are mine, along with a little bit of time I spent playing Resident Evil in VR. Just looking for some suggestions on what to try out." Would you say it's your best or favorite, Preston?
It's definitely one of my favorites, purely due to the
controller.
Just the
stuff.
controller is just so cool. Just I've never had like a game experience where you're like literally lifting up a gun to like look down the sights.
It is super cool.
Super cool. So it's definitely one of the coolest. Is it probably Resident Evil is probably still my favorite.
Yeah, I think that's also because Resident Evil is just genuinely an awesome game.
Yeah.
Which helps it.
Yeah, Resident Evil was good without VR. VR just enhanced it. This game would suck without VR.
Totally.
But, so I don't know. I would say Resident Evil's still good VR. Actually, I think I told you, I went back and played a little bit of Resident Evil in VR, and it was so dark compared to what I remember. Like, I couldn't even see anything.
Okay, see, ours was dark, but I never could not see anything.
No, it was like noticeably different. And because my uncle had yet to play Resident Evil 7 on VR. He had already completed the game just regularly. So I told him, hey, man, you haven't experienced this. Like, throw it on. So I threw it on initially just to kind of like
test it all out.
And I was like, oh my, like, I can't see. Crap. And I started Googling it, and people had the same issue. I don't know if there was a patch or something. I have no clue, but it just didn't feel the same.
Okay, because ours, when we did our Let's Play series, when whoever had the mask on, it looked pretty much fine. But now the monitor next to us where the other person would watch, that was pitch black the entire time. So every time he would scream, I would scream.
Our lights, though.
It could have been. Our lights didn't help things blind us.
All I say is I played it through 2 or 3 times in VR. And I just didn't remember it looking like that.
Okay.
So I don't know. Maybe I'm just going nuts. But
maybe you're just a crazy idiot.
Maybe. But
Dude, that's not nice. Let's not say things like that.
Sorry, Jacob. I got a little out of control there.
Yeah, I didn't want to say anything, but
Preston triggered me with the rest of the comments.
I'm really upset now. But no, Farpoint definitely is really cool. If you're really into your VR and you really want to just do something cool, I think. Yeah, you should definitely pick it up.
Absolutely.
Because I'm looking for cool VR experiences. The initial reviews for it were fairly positive. I've seen some negativity about it, just about the control stuff, but even they could not deny that when things work,
it's cool.
It's really freaking awesome.
Yeah.
So fortunately, I haven't had a lot of the problems in terms of, you know, the controller being finicky and stuff myself. I don't know if I'm lucky or my setup's just good or if I'm just... Oh, I think some people that play VR, you have to understand that you can't just do whatever you want. You have to stay within the parameters of how it works. Like you can't go out of the things because it'll monkey with it and stuff. Even in Batman, like, and it's very, especially somebody that doesn't play games or understand that. How do I say this? I don't know. If you just throw a VR headset on your mom and you're like, all right, do this. And she's like walking across the room and trying to pick up things from the ground and stuff. That would work with the Vive and stuff. But you're like, no, you can only do this. You can only do this. I feel like, do you know what I'm saying? Like if you work within the parameters of what PlayStation VR is, it works great.
Yeah, it's really just wherever the camera can see is quite limited, surprisingly. Yeah. That's why I intentionally sit farther away from mine because the farther you are, the slightly wider it is.
Yeah. See, I'm pretty close in my new gaming room, and it still works great. Okay. So I haven't had any problems with VR so far. I would love, I know this is literally never going to happen, but for there to be like a splitter to like run different cameras off, to like do a 360 view, kind of like how Vive does, just so it could work. And, you know, you'll be able to turn around and no matter where you are, your headset and the controller is being picked up wherever you are.
Maybe maybe the next iteration of PlayStation
it has to do something because that's what's keeping PlayStation away. I mean, yeah, the power and stuff, blah blah blah, but that really does separate the Vive and the Oculus. Is that full like 360 degrees amount of movement, no matter where you are, no matter how low you're going, no matter what you're doing, it's always picking you up. So
does the Oculus also have the cameras around? I thought it was just the Vive. Maybe I
know the Oculus has those touch things. I don't know how they're being picked up though. I know it's definitely better than the Move. So yeah, I know also the PlayStation Move controllers aren't like, you know, incredible pieces of technology. Yeah, and that's essentially what the aim controller is like. It's just it's a Move controller inside a little piece of plastic. It literally just is meant to pick up light. That's how the PlayStation tracks it. I would love for there to be a different type of controller, almost like an advanced version of these. That's not going to happen.
Move 2.0.
Yeah, something that's just able to kind of put it, you know, I'm not expecting it to surpass the Oculus Touch or the Vive controllers, but just, you know, make it a little bit better than it is.
I mean, if anything, PlayStation VR has just made VR more accessible and brought more awareness.
I'm pretty sure I read that it's selling
fairly well,
better.
I think they were just under a million units.
I think they're over a million.
I thought I read something how it was doing better than the other headsets, though.
Weird. I guess just because the price point.
Yeah, I guess.
PlayStation sold.
It's also it's at a really reasonable price for what it is.
I don't
know. For what it is, I think it works incredibly well. It works way better than I initially thought it would.
Yeah, definitely.
So.
I don't know what their source was, but the Game Informer podcast, they said that the PSVR sold over 1 million units.
Wow. So, okay.
Take that with a grain of salt. It was just under. That was a while ago.
Yeah, so it was a couple months ago at least.
Over it. I hope this continues, especially after buying the controller. And the controller isn't that much money. I think it was only the Farpoint priced alone is $50, and
so it's like $30 then.
Yeah, it's like $30,
yeah,
which is
not bad
really
at all.
reasonably priced because it's a good piece of hardware. It feels good,
and more games are gonna.
Yeah, I can't wait to
of
see how people expand upon that thing.
Yeah.
So
if I can get a Call of Duty World War II
VR experience with
using
that thing, holy crap! D-Day, man.
Yeah,
oh my
I'm calling
gosh.
it now. They're going to.
That'd be so sick. I'm not gonna get my hopes up. I think
it'll be both.
That sounds so exciting that I'm afraid to get my hopes up. Because it'd be that disappointing.
Yeah. I want people to take advantage of what's, I don't know, it's good to just have something that's not a tech demo. This is a full-on, like, fleshed out game. Like, there's cooperative mode, challenge mode, full-on story mode. And it's just really cool. We're not, we don't have access to big VR titles for the most part. They're just little experiences that come out like every other week or two. So it's always good to have like a, AAA like fleshed out VR title.
Speaking
so
of,
hopefully we get more of those.
Speaking of little experiences, are we ever going to get that Final Fantasy VR thing?
I forgot about that.
That was announced at E3, wasn't it?
Dude, you're right.
I don't even care.
happened?
It didn't even look that cool.
Yeah,
it's going to take
especially after
10
all
years.
we've played now. I could care less.
Yeah.
But have you played a co-op mission in Farpoint yet?
No.
Okay, see, mine I only played for a couple minutes because I was just in and out of it. But it's the funniest thing when you get into a lobby. In the main menu of the game, you're by yourself.
Oh, is he like
table.
next to you?
He's next to you.
That's cool.
So you turn and it's that funny run animation. You mean in the Let's Go, you saw our shadow, everyone's running around all stupid like. Yeah. But it's funny because I didn't have a mic on, so neither one of us are talking to each other. But I could tell he was probably laughing because I turned and saw him and he looked so ridiculous. I started laughing. So I started waving
I
started waving my gun around. He waved his back, and he walked up. He like waddled up to me and like held his gun out, and we touched our guns together. and then it took so long to load that we were smacking crap with our guns off the table as hard as we could, launching it across the room.
So this is funny.
Yeah, I was just laughing hysterically the whole time.
Yeah, we've got to play with each other.
Yeah, it's going to be
awesome.
fun.
Because I really do want to platinum this game, but those 3-starring every mission might hold me back. But
I think it's
I definitely have
hilarious.
some cooperative trophies I need to get with you.
It's going to be so funny because when I was playing with this guy, because it was a surprise to me to see the aliens firing back at us. I was like, holy crap, this is so cool. So I run up to a rock and take cover. We're shooting at guys, killing a bunch of aliens, and we run around a corner, we're on this big cliffside. And that's when I saw the alien up on a cliff sniping at us. So I'm like trying to nick away at him. My co-op partner has his head upside the rock. I'm like looking at him shooting, and all of a sudden I see him get nailed in the head, and the bodies are so funny with the physics in the game. He just like hits the ground. I'm like, oh my god! And like take cover and start blind firing at the sniper, and I got killed by something else. But I can just tell we're gonna have a blast with it.
So when the bodies hit the ground, they just go like.
Yeah, they just
flop.
They just flop over.
Yeah,
so
that was my first impressions of the game. Were that first cutscene starts, and surprisingly, the voice acting is really good.
It is, yeah.
I was very surprised.
The
by how
performances
good it was.
are great.
Yeah, the facial animations are actually really good and stuff too. So it starts, and those are my first impressions. I see these characters, the voice acting is good, facial animation is good. I get into the game, I'm looking at the gun, I'm like, sick. Start walking, immediately look down to my shadow, and I'm like, oh no. What is this?
I'm astounded by that too.
Oh, no, the first thing that made me kind of go, what, is when your pod drops. Do you see what your arm does when you smack the button to get out?
No.
It is like your wrist bends like and smacks the button. It is awful. You need to reload. You need to look at the playthrough that y'all put out, the first part with you getting out of the pod. It's freaking.
No, I didn't notice.
Oh my gosh, the hand is so bad.
That's awesome.
You have a problem with hands in video games.
Yeah, already, but it was just like horribly animated. And then you get outside, and I was telling you, they should have just, taken the shadow out of there. I know it's VR, it's supposed to be immersive, but that takes me more out of it is the way that the run animation is so bad, because the enemies move fine. Like I said, the other characters, their models move fine. It just stands out so bad how your character moves that it just doesn't fit with everything.
It's so funny to be up on a cliff seeing that you're a spaceman running across a desert, just completely straight and his legs just moving.
Yeah, so bad.
It's hilarious. Have you heard my prediction for the story?
No.
Okay, now you might be further, so this might be obsolete. But
I don't know what the hell's going on.
Okay.
Oh, no. I just got like one oh shit moment about something.
Okay.
So
my prediction is that, we went through that wormhole to end up on this planet. Yeah. My prediction is that all these logs we're seeing of the two scientists, I'm thinking they've been dead for hundreds of years. They landed, and then hundreds of years later, we landed after them, and they've been dead this whole time.
But it was like 3 seconds to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Is it?
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Oh, dude, I knew it.
It's actually been 30 years.
Oh, 30. Yeah. So they're dead, though.
Each second was 10 years.
No way.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know if they're dead.
We don't know if I don't know if they're dead yet, but that is the overall.
Okay, that's cool.
Spoiler alert, guys. I know everybody's been craving this story for Farpoint.
It reminds me of Quantum Break, though, because that revelation in Quantum Break blew my mind.
Yeah,
when you find out that part of the story.
I don't even remember what you're talking about.
I did that. See, that's the one part from the game that I distinctly remember. I'm like, how awful and cool is that? And by awful, I
do
mean,
remember that.
Just being like, that is the most depressing thing I've ever heard in my life. But
yeah, Farpoint's cool.
It is. I'm really enjoying
play co-op with you for
Certainly.
sure.
But as far as my favorite, I think maybe by the end I'll be able to say it's my favorite, especially after I do the time trial stuff, beat the story, and play co-op with you and unlock all the weapons. I might be able to say it's my favorite, but the fact that I've barely played right now, Resident Evil holds that title. But I might flip-flop on.
Yeah. Batman's definitely up there too. Batman was super cool.
Definitely, especially for a game you just stand around in.
Yeah. If they would have made just like a fully fleshed out Batman, that probably would hands down be my favorite. But yeah, so we played that. Anything else you guys played?
What about you, Jacob?
Played a little more Heroes of the Storm because I'm still nicking away at all those Overwatch goodies that I'm getting. So
nice.
Other than that, not really. I mean, it had a couple other cool things that happened this week, but nothing.
Tell us,
related.
Jacob. Share it with us. Share it with the world.
Well, I'm a huge Linkin Park fan, and the new 7th studio album that came out this week. Actually, yesterday of recording this.
Nice.
So really excited for that. Still listening to that nonstop every day.
You enjoying it?
Yeah.
How do you rank it among the rest?
Ooh.
One of your favorites or nah?
I would say it's in the middle of the pack. It's not. It's more towards the end, I guess, since there's an odd number. But it's not their worst work. But you know, I like their earlier, heavier stuff, like most people do.
I'm the
most.
Same. So. I'm still. You and I talk about this all the time. I'm still keeping my fingers crossed for one more heavy album from Linkin Park because I still love Hybrid Theory. I think that album's awesome. So we'll see.
Yeah. You never know what they're going to make next. Every album it seems so different from the
I'm waiting
next,
for them to do a pop punk style of Linkin Park.
Yeah, like a Blink-182 style.
Exactly. I mean, they're on tour with them. They might as well take some influence.
Linkin Park.
Yeah, that is so funny. Blinkin' Park. They should just form and actually become one band, Blinkin' Park.
I don't know how I feel about that.
That'd be really cool. It'd be like fusing in Dragon Ball Z. It'd be great.
That'd be fun.
If only Tom DeLonge was still part of Blink-182.
Exactly. He'll be the final piece to the puzzle. They'll make Blinkin' Park and he'll realize that we need to solve all of our problems. I need to come back and be the world's ultimate band.
Can you imagine like Chester and Tom singing
just
together?
going back and forth? Tom singing and then Chester screaming and then Mike Shinoda coming in with a rap. Killer.
I have no clue what y'all are talking about at all.
Just really famous musicians.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Well, we went and saw a really cool concert.
We did.
You guys did.
Yeah. Why don't you bring us up to speed, Preston, for those that don't know?
Went and saw Veil of Maya for the first time. We've been pretty big fans.
What venue?
The Masquerade. The new Masquerade.
Nice. I haven't been there yet.
Yeah, dude,
it was really cool.
Me and Preston really like it a lot.
Yeah.
Where's it at?
Underground Atlanta, of all places.
Really?
And believe it or not, their parking deck, not only was it easily accessible, but there was plenty of parking spaces, and it's connected directly to Underground Atlanta. It's like the shortest walk to get there.
Is it a new parking deck?
I don't know if it's a new parking deck, but it's
I didn't know if they built
deck.
a new facility or if they moved in somewhere.
No, they just moved in somewhere, and it's cool because in Underground Atlanta, it's kind of like in a strip mall, but on the bottom level, there's this big, giant courtyard where there's plenty of space to walk around and get air in between shows, and Hell is on one side of the shopping mall, and directly across is Heaven, and then Purgatory's off to the left of Hell, so they're all in different rooms, which is cool. And Hell was great because it wasn't massive. It was kind of the same size as Hell from the previous Masquerade, but me and Preston went up on a balcony and just hung out on the balcony and avoided the pit the entire time, which was nice. And the show was spectacular. I mean, me and Preston have been listening to the band for a while now, but when we heard Matriarch, we're like, dude, we got to see these guys live. And we missed them. How many times? Two or three times in Atlanta. And we finally caught them this time, and it was just as good as we had hoped it would be. And we'd seen them on YouTube, and they sounded great, but live, it was awesome.
Yeah, so they're really, really good live.
They are.
Definitely, they're putting out a new album this year, so I'm definitely pumped to see it. But I was told that Underground Atlanta isn't the best area,
right?
So, I was just keeping a keen eye out, making sure everything was going wrong, and it was very nice.
It was nice. I was surprised.
Decent security there. On our way out of the parking deck, there was this crazy man on the side of the street in
the middle of the street.
Yeah, just like screaming and throwing his hands around. And I swear he was like in a wife beater and boxers.
Well, that's like
something.
every day in Atlanta.
It worked out for us though, because my GPS took us onto a one-way street, and we were going the opposite direction down the street. We're like, oh shit!
Me and Evan were in Atlanta last night, and like Friday, not last night in terms of yesterday when this is uploaded, but we were just talking about like, hey, have you ever gone down the opposite way of a one-way street? Like, no, I haven't. And Nella was like, yeah, I've done it like several times.
The GPS straight up told him to do it. So we're just like on the opposite side of the street following another car too.
Right.
And then we like realized
another car was there too.
Yeah. We were following him. We were like, oh crap. And there's this guy on the side of the street screaming and stuff.
We were like, all right, he's our distraction. And we like took off in a different direction. That's hilarious.
So besides that, there was it was good area. Nothing crazy went down, but
it was. But before we continue, Preston, if you can bring them off the top of your head, we didn't get to hear your gaming accomplishments last week when we discussed it. I'm pretty sure people would like to know. Just a few that aren't trophy related. Now I know a few of your trophies, like that really is.
Yeah, I mean, I platinumed Bloodborne. Bloodborne. I think that's a pretty decent accomplishment.
That is.
Just beating all those chalice dungeons.
Mm-hmm. Even if you were remove the platinum trophy idea from it, just doing the things you had to do to complete it.
Bloodborne. That's pretty cool.
You almost did it again.
Beating World at War on Veteran.
Oh, yeah.
That was one of the hardest things I've ever done, purely due to grenade spam. It was completely unfair in monster closets. Yeah.
Non-stop monster closets.
So I hear a lot of people talk about how they just gave up, but
you did not.
I did not. I pursued.
You persevered.
That was on the Xbox, so I got all the achievements on World at War.
See, we're not fanboys.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to come up with them if you don't
on the
think
spot.
about it.
I don't know.
Did you kind of just retain that in the back of your mind?
Yeah, I mentioned in the past, I forgot to mention it last week, beating the legendary ships in Assassin's Creed 4 was one of the most ridiculous but rewarding things I've ever done in a video game. I won't repeat the story, but if you ever fought those ships, you know what I'm talking about. It's ridiculous.
You've told it before.
I have.
Yeah, a few times.
So,
but I don't know. I have 43 platinums. I know it's trophy related, but I know that's nothing compared to a lot of people, but I think that's a pretty decent accomplishment.
It's much more than either me or Garrett have.
I don't even have 10. I think I have 8. And one of them's from Batman, 11. So that doesn't count.
I platinumed The Witcher twice. That's a pretty decent accomplishment.
That is.
Just in terms of a time investment.
Or Witcher 3. Yeah. So.
You played a lot of Gwent.
I don't know. I did. I played a crap ton of Gwent.
You gonna play the app when it comes out in the game? Is the game out now?
Probably.
I think
there's going to be a beta on console soon. Okay. So I might dabble in it then.
I feel like there's a closed beta right now.
I don't know why I just never wanted to give any of my time to Gwent. I just couldn't get into it. I just wanted to be slicing monsters and doing quests. That's the last thing I wanted to do is play a card game.
It's nice to...
And this is coming from someone who loves Hearthstone.
Break up the combat and stuff. It was fun to dabble in it. Doing the trophies and collecting all the cards, that definitely got to where you didn't want to play anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I do like the idea of going into like a pub or a tavern in this medieval world and be like, let's play a game of cards and drink some grog, and playing Gwent is cool. But that's what I like to imagine. I'm sure is exactly
what would happen.
That's what I like to imagine when I'm playing Hearthstone. Because I'd play a lot of Hearthstone at one of my older jobs in an actual bar while a band was playing, and I'd pretend I was in a tavern environment. Kind of how we played Diablo and made our lamp in our kitchen feel like we were in a tavern. Still got to go to Battle and Brew.
Yeah, see, like, whenever I think of Battle and Brew, I picture like tablets set up at a brewery,
right?
Like a tavern place. We have like tablets on kickstands set up, and we have nice, loggers next to us.
We really need to choose a date and go to that. We've been talking about it for years now.
So I'd have to really sit down and think about the accomplishments, but those are the only ones off the top of my head right now. So I don't know. I'm sure there's other ones that I don't even know are cool that might be cool. I don't know, because I didn't even think about World at War, other people struggling with it until I started seeing a lot of people talk about it on the internet.
Well, we appreciate you sharing, Preston.
Yeah, sure, dude.
But you have something else to say?
Do I?
Sorry, I don't know. Do you?
I think so. I don't know, I had a funny, stupid story.
Let's hear it.
It's like it has nothing to do with anything.
I was just going to tell a quick thing that I did this week, so...
You can do it.
Okay.
Sure.
I just wanted to say before we got into the news, basically.
Okay.
But since we were just talking about shows, I went to a show last night to see this guy named Slow Magic. He wasn't headlining. He was like the second in the lineup. There were 3 people. But it was an electronic show. And I've never been to see like electronic music live. And it was actually really cool because what makes this guy so unique is that he plays drums while he plays music.
That's cool.
And he was actually covering a Blink-182 song, and he was playing drums over it and had like some electronic beats in it. It was actually really cool, and I really enjoyed the experience. And I had a few drinks to help me enjoy it.
Enhance it, yes.
And it was at the Tabernacle, which is really cool.
Great venue.
I was able to go up to the top of the VIP level when no one was there to check. So
that's a great level.
We were able to sit down too.
Yeah, me and Preston saw Prada last year in the VIP area.
Yeah, he was
awesome.
there.
Yeah,
we had
there.
free popcorn.
He was there.
Were you there?
Yes.
I thought it was me, Preston. Oh, my dad is the other one. My dad.
I
Was
sat
the fourth
between
guy.
you. No, did I sit next to you?
I do this
sat
all the
next to
time. I can't tell you how many things I've been to with my girlfriend. I'm like, yeah, me and so were at this thing. She's like, I was there with you. I was like, where are you? There's always, if there's more than 3 people, I always forget a 4th person.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Gotcha. Thanks a lot. But yeah, this was a week where I didn't just do nothing. Like
so no one
usual.
stopped you when you went
Nice.
up there?
No,
That's
there was
awesome.
no one up there.
You were up there the
maybe
whole
it was
time?
because it wasn't as big of a show. Maybe like it wasn't Kill Switch engaged. It was
Okay.
just. I think the artist, the headliner, was called Rude something.
Casey looked him
It was
up
an
when he sent us
Australian.
those Snapchats.
It was
She
an
said
Australian
he looked them up.
electronic.
She knew who they were. She had listened
Yeah,
to them
they're
on SoundCloud.
fairly big.
Okay.
Slow Magic, like me and Evan really like Slow Magic, and
Are those tunes you listen to when you're on your way to Atlanta to the bars?
sometimes
I think we've
it's
listened to
more
them before.
chill music.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, that's cool. I've never actually been to an electronic show, but ironically enough, I've performed electronic music before. I was
Right,
telling the
you were
story.
telling me.
When I was in music school, I was required to take 3 electronic music classes. I had to get certifications for Ableton Live, the software to make electronic music, or at least the primary one.
Right.
And I'll never forget how much I half-assed that performance. I was so humiliated at how simple it was, having just a soundboard and they literally just play your song, and you can manipulate your song with this board.
That's
with like
basically
knobs
what
and
you do on
stuff
stage.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just felt like an idiot pushing buttons and turning knobs. I think I got like an 80. I almost got a C on my performance because I made a big joke out of it. Kind of like when I took a yoga class in community college, and for my midterm, me and a partner had to give a yoga class to our classmates as if they had never done yoga in their lives. And instead of doing actual yoga moves, we made them all up off the top of our heads in the middle of the performance and doing the most ridiculous things you can imagine. My teacher almost failed us on the spot. She gave us both a 0 in our midterm. And my partner just dropped the class instantly. He's like, F this, I'm out. And I'm like, well, I can't give up because my parents said I can't go to music school if I don't get a passing grade in this class. So I had to kiss my teacher's ass for about 6 weeks after that to pass the class. And it was humiliating, but I did pass. No, that was my yoga experience in college.
Nice.
But electronic music, man, I don't keep up with it, but every now and then I'll hear a tune that I'm into. I really like...
Are you like, what are they called?
Glitch Mob.
Yeah.
I like Glitch Mob, and I like The Prodigy. I think they're pretty good.
I've never heard of them.
Prodigy's awesome. So, yeah.
Or him. You never know how many
I think
people
they're a
are-
group, if I'm not mistaken. So,
But yeah, I will put some links in the Discord of some videos. They're like quick 30-second clips that I took of Slow Magic playing. So,
okay.
in case anyone's
Cool,
interested in seeing what it was like.
Preston, are you a, not Glitch Mob, Dave Chappelle fan at all?
I like Dave Chappelle.
Oh,
Okay, because he's going to be at the Tabernacle for a week in June.
Oh, really?
Yeah, tickets are kind of expensive. I would have loved to have gone, but I can't afford it right now. But yeah, I was just going to let you know if you had any interest.
Okay. I'll go by
Have
myself.
you seen his latest Netflix
I've
special?
seen parts of it, and I thought it was really funny.
I thought it was
I
hilarious.
haven't watched the whole thing yet.
I've seen both parts. Really enjoyed it. So
Nice. But yeah, besides games and stuff, I've just been unpacking more and more. I'm still not even close to being done with unpacking. My game room is 100% done.
you should
though.
post some pictures on the
You
Discord.
did.
I think people would like to see that.
Posted one, right? Or was
Did
that in
you?
our
No.
messages?
I just texted you guys. Like,
Yeah, you
I'm
should
done.
post them. Preston's got a sweet new gaming setup at his new house.
Thanks, dude. I need to get like one more shelf to go on the wall, and then it'll be 100% done.
What's that last shelf for?
Just put more. I have so much crap that I have to put somewhere, and I want to display it. I want to just throw it in my closet.
So remind me again what collectibles you have. You have a lot of Fallout and Zelda, right?
I have Zelda, Uncharted.
Don't you have
Horizon.
Sword Art as well?
I have lots of Sword Art stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind
Attack on Titan?
Yeah, I have Attack on Titan stuff.
So it's just a nice mix of everything.
Yeah, anything I have any slight interest in.
And
I'll either
you got
buy the
that
collector's edition.
Dishonored 2 mask, right?
Yeah, I have that.
Yeah,
that's
that's really
hanging
cool.
on the wall. I
Nice. Kind of like my Kylo mask up there.
maneuvered that. Yeah,
Of course, you
pretty
see, I
much.
didn't hang Kylo up there. He actually crashed through it and his head is stuck. Kind of like Pooh Bear in that one Pooh Bear episode where he gets stuck in the hole trying to get the honey.
So that's not how that's how he got the scar. It wasn't from Ray
Right,
slashing
he
him in the
smashed
face.
his head through my wall
Gotcha.
there. And he's permanently stuck. He and I have conversations at night when I try to sleep. He
makes
won't
sense.
shut up
Shut
about
up,
his
Adam.
grandfather. I have no idea what his grandfather is, but he won't shut up. But you also have that golden nude statue of Jacob hanging
Yes.
above your mantle.
Yes.
What?
It's like a chandelier just hanging in the middle of my room.
Right.
So
And his wiener hangs as the plug that turns it on and off.
Exactly.
You just pull on that dungus,
Mhm.
it lights up your room, or
It's really long, isn't it?
eliminates the
a long
darkness.
cord.
It actually reaches to the floor. It's
It
an
goes-
actual recreation of his actual
It goes throughout
penis.
the house.
exactly. It snakes through each room. Yeah. You can trip over it if you're not careful. It's quite dangerous.
It's one of the great wonders of the world.
It is. It's the 8th, 9th, and 10th wonder of the world.
Drives the dogs crazy.
Yeah, each section, the closer you get to your torso, is another wonder of the world.
Yes.
And then your whole body is probably the rest of the world.
And they're each distinct in their own ways.
Exactly. Each of them can
their
be researched
own valleys
and
troves.
Exactly.
Mountains.
Yeah. Man, what a special piece of your body, Jacob. I really appreciate you sharing it with us and Preston in his home. It's quite courteous. But what's your funny story?
Well, first, I guess I might as well just announce that I'm engaged.
You are engaged.
Congratulations.
I didn't think you'd tell us on the podcast. That's cool.
I sure might.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're now a man at your wedding.
I'm now a man. That's what does it. So that's exciting. That happened this past weekend. Mm-hmm. So that
new
happened.
Home. You're engaged.
Mm-hmm. When's the big day?
Well, we're doing something a little different. We're not doing the traditional of like, we're doing the wedding at this particular day. We're just going to have a small family thing probably this next month, just for like financial reasons and stuff. And then towards the end of this year, early next year, we're actually going to have like a celebration of marriage or like the actual wedding and stuff.
Where everyone brings fresh chicken eggs to present to them as gifts.
Where like friends and family and all that traditional crap will go on and stuff. So yeah, for now it's just going to be like a small, no big deal, like, all right, here we go thing. So
cool. Yeah, very cool.
That's what we're doing.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Appreciate it, man. But the funny story is Destiny 2 stuff was revealed. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago?
Thursday.
Okay.
Last week.
So I'm just laying on my bed watching, all these countless videos.
I was driving, so.
And you were?
Yeah.
Nice.
Were you watching them while you drive?
Yes.
That's great. That's very safe.
While you drove?
Well, I was being safe. I was glancing down. I was like, I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm so excited.
Yeah.
So I'm like watching recaps and stuff, and we're dog sitting my sister's dog.
Yeah.
And I know Lizzie was taking them out to go potty. So I'm just laying on the bed watching these videos, and I vaguely hear somebody hysterically screaming like they're being murdered.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, is it in the video? So I'm like looking and I'm like putting it up to my ear. I'm like, what is this noise? Because like, why would anybody be screaming like that around me?
Mm-hmm.
So I hear it a little bit louder. So I put my phone down and I walk out to the living room, and I hear it way louder. So I start running towards the back door, and I like kick the door open, and I look out there, and Lizzie is holding my sister's dog in her arms, and we also have another dog who's like a German Shepherd mix.
Yeah,
and he's standing there too, and she's holding him on the ground, and she is crying hysterically. So my first thought in my brain is, we've killed my sister's dog.
Yeah.
And she's holding his dead body here. So immediately I'm flipping out. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And she is crying so hardcore that she can't even talk. She's like, like, do it. She's sobbing uncontrollably. And I am like, what? So I get the dogs up. She's like, the dogs aren't listening to me. They won't go inside. So I take Stanley, my sister's dog, I put him inside, and I'm telling Riley, the German Shepherd's like, you gotta go inside, and he won't come. So I just like lift him up, and, throw him over my shoulder. I'm carrying this like 80-pound dog, like running across the backyard, put him inside, and I'm like, what's going on? And she was like, Stanley had a snake in his mouth. I'm like, oh, that's it? I'm like, where's this snake? Well, first of all, I pick her up and I like walk her inside, and she is flipping out. Like she can't even talk. She's crying so hard. I'm like, calm down. She's like, the dogs told there's a snake, and I was scared it was going to bite them, and they wouldn't come inside. They wouldn't listen to me. And I tried to pick Stanley up, and I fell over trying to like get inside. So I'm like, okay, just calm down. Like, just breathe and, freaking just breathe right now.
Mm-hmm.
So we go outside, dude. And I'm like, all right, where's this snake? She's like, I threw a glove next to it, so I remember where it was. So I walk over there. Dude, maybe this big.
So you're talking like a few inches.
Oh, a few inches. It looked like a worm. It's this little garden snake. Just a green little generic garden snake that you find in anybody's backyard. It's Stanley bit it in half pretty much. It's not even alive. He killed this thing.
You need to rid the world of those things.
Yeah, so I just pick it up. We just pick it up and throw it back there. I was like,
that is
holy
awesome.
crap. And then on our way walking back in, we found a wolf spider on the ground.
Oh,
I stepped on it, and she's like, what's going on? I was like, it's like
what's happening?
We built our house on an evil grave or something.
Exactly. And I'm like, do you see what's behind that? Behind our house is like woods. Like as far as the eye can see, I'm like, we're in front of woods. There's going to be creatures. So she was like, we should have thought this through.
We've made a horrible decision.
So anyways, yeah, that's what happened. A little 6-inch garden snake almost killed our dogs or something.
Man,
I'm sure she would appreciate you telling this story.
I'm sure it's fine. The thing that she was worried that it was going to be poisonous and bite Stanley, and she was just really upset because the dogs weren't listening to her. And anyways, she's under a lot of stress too with unpacking and stuff, so I don't think she had the best day, and that just wasn't a good way to end it. So anyways, that's my little funny story.
Nice. At least it wasn't like a rattlesnake or a water moccasin.
Dude, I thought
an
when she
anaconda
said
or something.
snake, I thought it was like a copperhead or something. Or what's the ones in Georgia?
There's a few. There's copperheads, water moccasins, and I think
I've seen a huge copperhead in my friend's backyard. It was terrifying.
I know copperheads are pretty prevalent in Georgia, so that was my mind first went to that.
Rattlesnakes are like out west, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I don't
think we have rattlesnakes.
I don't know.
Those things are horrifying, though.
I'm not a snake connoisseur.
Me neither. I prefer not to be either.
Yeah. So that was my initial thought. Is Stanley is running around with this like anaconda in his mouth? But anyways,
what would you rather deal with? A plethora of spiders or a single big snake?
Oh man, are the spiders poisonous?
Yes. Let's say brown recluse.
Say both are deadly.
A snake.
Okay.
I'll take one snake bite over a million brown recluse. You'll die. You would die. You can at least get some. What's it called? Venom X or something.
Venom Be Gone.
Venom Be Gone.
Yeah, you can get that at Walmart.
Find your local drugstore.
You just chug it.
I used to watch this snake bite or venomous show on Animal Planet where people would get bit by stuff like that, and they would all get like a dose of this stuff called Venom X or something like that. I don't know.
Speaking of Venom, are we talking about
We might as well just mention it now. Tom Hardy cast as Venom. That's
exciting.
So awesome.
Really cool.
I was not expecting an A-list actor like that. I mean, I guess you can consider Tom Hardy an A-lister now. But, dude, I would not have ever imagined that he would do a movie like this. That's awesome. Yeah, and Eddie Brock of all people, and Tom Hardy's kind of old. I mean, he's not an old man, but he's probably in his late 30s, if I'd have to guess. Maybe he's in his early 30s. I don't know. But
Eddie Brock's not too old, is he?
So he will have been two very high-profile villains in both Marvel
and DC. He was almost in Suicide Squad too as Rick Flag. I think he was going to play the guy who played RoboCop played in Suicide Squad.
Is he the one who got killed in like 0.5 seconds?
No, that was Slipknot.
Oh, okay.
So, but no, Venom, that's super cool. And they've said that it's standalone from Spider-Man, which is weird because Tom Hardy's so significantly older than Tom Holland that if they went up face to face, it'd be kind of strange, I guess. And the fact he's playing Eddie Brock and not the newer version of Venom, who's like an ex-Marine or something. I mean, regardless, I'm excited. I think that sounds awesome.
Yeah, I am too.
That is cool. But spiders and snakes, I'd prefer to avoid at all costs. And whenever I see, I've only seen a brown recluse once or twice in my life, but when I do, even if I'm 10 feet away from it, that thing scares me to death. Yeah. Those things are horrifying.
Yeah,
Casey told me about this woman on the news or an article she read whose house was built over top of this caved-in hole in the ground where all these garden snakes breeded. And her house is infamous for having the most snakes in one house ever. She finds snakes. I don't know why she hasn't moved yet. I think she's trying to sue whoever the realtor was, but daily she finds like 10 to 15 snakes in her house. Now, they're all garden snakes. They've all breeded under her house, so there's just thousands of them. And they went into her house. There's a video of it where they peel back a wall, and they peel back this wall, and like 30 snakes fall out of the wall.
Nope.
I just would throw up instantly if I saw that.
That makes me so... You know that feeling where you feel like things are crawling on you?
Yes,
that's what I feel like when you talk about that.
It's like remember we were doing the Let's Play there, and I'm like, I need to open a window. It's hot in here. Open a window. Like 400 gnats fly into our light. And there were so many gnats on one light, I had to scrape them off at one point. It was disgusting.
Oh my gosh.
So
that's horrifying.
That's why I don't open my windows at my house.
Yeah, it was a huge mistake. I told Casey, Casey, how many nights do you think I've left my windows open because it's so hot? We're just covered in insects all night. Probably swallowed 100 bugs.
Like a camping trip.
I might become a bug. Like The Fly. You ever seen The Fly?
Yeah, I've heard
disturbing.
My voice was so, yeah. Yeah, I did.
My voice still cracks to this day for some reason.
Yeah, mine does.
I don't think I
get really
finished
stressed
puberty
out
yet.
and I go on like a rant.
Mm-hmm.
My voice will crack at the end of it.
Now, most scary creatures and VR-related video games will make me scream like a girl.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, Farpoint made me scream a little bit. Dude, I can't. If you're like arachnophobic playing that game, I don't feel like you could do it.
I've heard some people, like I watched an IGN interview, someone talking about a few of them just couldn't do it because of the spiders. Now, I'm not that afraid.
Yeah.
Anything flying at my face, like I said, it could be a bunny rabbit flying at my face, and VR just feels like it's going to kill you.
Yeah. You're screaming in our Let's Plays is more terrifying than anything that we've played.
Right. Just the shock.
It always freaks me out.
Yeah.
God.
My goodness. Were y'all ready to get this
let's
going?
finally get
let's
this
do
show
this.
started.
All right. This is the It's Obvious Gaming Podcast, the show where my two best friends and I get together every single week to discuss video games. Obviously, you can find all of our content, including the video version of this podcast, over at youtube.com/ItsObviousGaming. If YouTube isn't good for you or you'd like to take us on the go, you can find this podcast weekly on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Audio Boom, and other podcasting services. Please check the description down below for links to our social media pages, our Discord channel, PlayStation community, and other means to connect with us. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel and be sure to like and comment down below to get involved with the It's Obvious community. Doing so helps us out a ton, and we would forever be in your debt. With all that out of the way, hey man, what's the news?
Dude, thank you so much for bringing us in, Preston. Now, obviously, we're going to start with Destiny 2. It has officially been unleashed upon the earth. Plenty of gameplay to discuss, minor tweaks to the game, and ultimately the fact that it's glorified DLC for Destiny 1. I'm just reiterating the jokes going around the internet, but most people aren't joking. But to bring us in, we have a community question from Mr. Dustin Orr. He says, "Hey there, fellers. So Destiny 2 has its worldwide gameplay premiere. Let the Destiny 2 conversation begin. All aboard the hype train. Anyways, I digress. What are your thoughts, gentlemen, on what we saw? The guided games idea, I think, is a wonderful way to bring in more players to raids and etc. Very exciting for people like me whom have not had the pleasure of actually doing any raids because I couldn't find the people to play with. I look forward to hearing your opinions, especially Jacob's, as he is the Destiny fanboy of the three of you. Hashtag totally a fanboy." You son of a bitch, Jacob. What do you think of Destiny 2?
I don't even like Destiny. What's
You're
he
right.
talking about?
You're not wearing a Destiny shirt or anything. It's more of like a joke. You know, kind of how Mark Wahlberg and the other guys learns ballet to make fun of that kid in high school or whatever. That's one of the funniest scenes in the movie. You wear the Destiny shirt and pretend to like it as a joke because it's just that bad.
Yeah, it's
that's
a
correct,
shit game.
right?
They didn't even release with the whole game.
Correct. Now, I want to hear from you first, truly, Jacob. Like, what are your thoughts on everything you've seen so far? Now, you've told me you're hyped, but tell me why you're hyped, Jacob.
Well, the whole clan thing is very cool. I'm very excited to, make the It's Obvious Gaming clan.
Mm-hmm. I'd be impressed. Now,
I mean, we had one, but
we have
.net, but it's just way easier.
Yeah.
To
I wonder if
just
that's going to carry over to Destiny 2, or if it's just going to be a whole new thing.
Somebody asked that, but I don't know if they gave an answer.
Yeah. But
and can you join more than one?
Interviews.
I think you can only join one.
Because I wouldn't be offended if people were like, I'm going to join the better clan so I can play all the time with people.
Right.
I wouldn't be offended.
I'm going to be on all the time when this game launches, for sure.
Yeah, okay.
So, but I think the coolest things, obviously it's 4 new planets, basically. European Dead Zone, that's someplace that people have wanted to go for so long. We're finally going to Titan, which is so awesome. The whole planet is just water. So it's just platforms built up from the golden age of humanity, which is really cool. Then there's Io, which is a Jupiter moon, I believe. And then there's also this made up place called Nesu, I think. It's a Vex place.
Nice.
But it makes me think, like, are we going to go to the planets that we've already been before, like in DLC maybe, or in, like the Taken King kind of sequel maybe? I don't know. But just going to 4 new locations is really cool to me. A lot of things are being carried over from the original Destiny, like gunplay, supers, obviously, and the Crucible. But I think just the most exciting thing about it is just, like, the whole UI, just seeing, like, because they are improving the graphics a little bit. It's still, unfortunately, in 30 frames.
Even on consoles.
I know I'm going to be the
even on
PS4
PS4 Pro
to be like, 30s are still cool, but like, did anybody even have an issue with it being 30?
There were actually,
no,
no,
it's just something that I like 60 frames more.
No, I mean, I do too,
obviously.
but I never one time, literally not even one time playing the first Destiny, even thought about frame rate.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's flawless gunplay. Like,
that's the fact that it's locked, it's fine. Now, the 3 of us never had issue with that, but I don't know if people are snobs or people just genuinely did not like 30 frames. There are definitely a majority of people out there that have claimed they hated the fact that it was 30. I mean, of course, it's still
really
totally playable.
I never even saw
but
that.
I think everyone's thought process is the fact that this is a sequel. People are like, well, that's one of the biggest expectations to bring it to 60. I was kind of the same boat. I was hoping for that. I'm not totally disappointed because they have said, oh, we've upped the graphical fidelity a bit, which I can't complain about either. I've heard on PS4 it's locked at 4K, 30 frames a second. So
4K.
Yeah, 4K. I say that lightly, but that's what the developers and designers have said.
But I think the most exciting thing that they said was that there are more things to do in the world, which is what I've wanted more than anything.
Now, did they clarify it all? Because it seems quite
there's
vague.
going to be adventures, which, forgive me, I don't remember exactly what they are.
It seems like in the little presentation they had, like the stage show, they said that you could like actually get quests from NPCs.
Right, yeah,
there's
random side quests.
Lead you to like caves, and there would be like a boss you could fight to get a key and open a treasure chest.
Yeah,
so it's essentially like what everybody wanted, just a bigger, more expansive hub world with a lot more stuff to do.
And, I'm sure, like, once you play this game to death, you're going to run out of things to do, like you always do in Destiny. You just do the same repetitive weekly stuff. But just the fact that they're making the worlds, I'm assuming they're going to make them bigger if they're putting all this different stuff
based on the Strike and single player mission.
See, I haven't watched
seem
the
to
Strike
be bigger.
yet.
Yeah, the Strike, the world seemed very huge.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I watched a little bit of a Strike, and I could already tell the feedback. Yeah, it seemed more not as raidish as like, oh, there's a puzzle, but there was one part where they're like going through this place, and there's these drills or like saw blades coming into the level, and they had to maneuver their way like around it while fighting guys. It wasn't just like every other stereotypical Strike in Destiny.
So it kind of felt like a raid, and like you're jumping.
Yeah, there was more platforming. It was like more. There was more stuff to do than just, okay, we'll just follow this set path, shooting these guys, and then fight this bullet sponge at the end. It seemed to be even the boss at the end had like 3 stages to go through. So it seems like they definitely, took the feedback of, we want this to be more than just a shooting gallery to go through.
And another thing, everything's going to be more seamless. It looks like, less loading, traveling to planets. I think you're still going to go like launch to planets, but I think once you're there,
well, you don't have to go to orbit. Like if you're
once you're on a plane, you can just access your dash and just, I think, fast travel.
Exactly.
Which is really awesome because that took so much time, if we're being honest.
And going back to the tower. And,
There won't be a tower this game.
Now, I'm very excited to see where we end up as like a hub world.
Yeah, well, it's going to be the European Dead Zone.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think every planet will have like a hub world?
Maybe. Yeah,
that's kind of what I got. If they're talking about the adventure zones and stuff, I'm assuming they weren't just saying like all of this is only on Earth.
That's a good point because each of the Vanguard members have gone to a different place.
Yeah,
Zavala went to Titan.
Oh, that's awesome.
Cade's at
that's kind
Nesu,
of a pun. The fact that the Titan goes
the Warlock
Titan.
lady, whoever the Warlock lady is, she went to Io to study more Warlock stuff.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah, once the tower exploded, they all like branched out when they're separate.
So maybe there'll be like some class quests along those lines. I don't know.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Are you bummed there's not another class? That seems to be the most prevalent thing I've seen that people.
You know what I was thinking about that? The more I was thinking about it, think about how many people would all just jump to that exclusive new class. I mean, I'm sure, of course, there'd be people. Oh, I'll have 2 playthroughs. I'll have my main hunter and I'll have the new class. But so many people would do that same class that it might become redundant to a point where like everyone wants to. It's like when a new Diablo class comes, everyone wants to play it. Right. And for a brief amount of time in Overwatch, and a new character comes, everyone tries to play that character. So
I just think it's more important.
I think you'd have to have 3 new ones to make it balanced, probably. I know that's
3 brand new classes.
I know that's excessive, but if they
you mean just scrap the old ones? And
I was going to say if they made a new game,
a lot of people thought they were going to make 3 new ones.
For the sake of like making it totally fresh, just completely different classes from the first one. But I get that people want to carry over their playthrough.
And I get the comparison to like, is there only like one new subclass?
I don't know. I think so.
Okay.
Maybe. Like I don't know what the deal is because they kept mentioning like Gunslinger, Striker, Titan.
Yeah.
Like and then you see the Vanguard members using those old abilities.
Yeah. So. I mean, definitely Gunslinger and Striker in there. I didn't see the original Warlock one.
I saw the Void.
You did?
She did the Void.
Oh yeah,
on
she
that
did
ship.
it. Yeah. In the story mode mission.
And again, maybe it's just they know them. Like right now, we only have that one subclass.
So new one, that's like the main complaint I've seen comparing this to just an expansion. It's like, oh, there's only a new subclass, just like the Taken King did. Blah,
there's so
blah,
much
blah.
more.
Yeah, but there really is a lot more. Like there's 4 new worlds, which are way more in depth than they ever had with those, adventures and stuff that we were talking about. The whole like weapon switching system is different.
Yeah, we need to talk about that too. Yeah,
I love.
You got
the
a
way they
kinetic
swapped
slot,
it.
a energy weapon, and a power weapon.
Yeah, so shotguns and snipers are heavy weapons now.
Right.
So
along with like machine guns, grenade launchers.
Yeah,
I think that's
new
really
weapon
gonna.
types.
I do too.
That's submachine guns, grenade launchers. And I think there's another one. A new weapon. All together.
So that is so cool that you're going to be able to have like a hand cannon and just switch to like a scout rifle. Or something.
You can have
back
2
and
hand
forth.
cannons if you want.
That's so cool.
That's awesome.
And that's going to prevent people from just, and especially in Crucible, just like sniping the entire
that was
time
a huge problem with
shotguns. Yes, that's finally going to be solved. Like that's so cool.
That's a huge change that I love.
Yeah.
But just to wrap this up, probably the thing that's most disappointing to me was I had convinced myself that there was going to be ship battles for some reason.
Yeah.
Just from watching cutscenes and stuff, I was like, we're finally getting this. Like, I've always wanted this. But I don't think it's going to happen.
No.
At least they haven't.
I don't think
know
that
if they've
even
denied
fits.
it.
If there were anything, I think it'd be like some mini game to play during a loading screen or something like that.
That's what I was expecting. Yeah, maybe.
But, I mean,
I don't know if they can legally do that because I know Atari has like a patent on that or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
Like no one can even do.
No
that.
one can do mini games in a loading screen. I'm pretty sure like Atari has that patent. But what
Yeah.
about the story mode, the mission that we saw?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, it seemed like classic Bungie in the sense of Halo 1 through 3, where their cutscenes seamlessly tie in and out of gameplay, where it just never really stops to load for. Oh, here comes the cutscene. It's just seamless, like cutscene and transitions right into gameplay, which a lot of games do that. But I know Bungie, I first noticed that in their Halo games.
The idea of losing, like starting off as powerful as we've always been, and then losing the
light or whatever.
What's that thing called?
The Traveler.
The Traveler.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Losing the Traveler, like they put that
Some
big,
Destiny
or
fanboy
they
you
capture
are.
the Traveler, and we just collapse because we don't know what to do without our light. Like that's fascinating to me, and like that whole journey of retaking the light and like getting our power.
Yeah, I just
back
want to
is
know
so
the
awesome.
narrative of getting it back. Are you going to play through a few story missions and not having
probably,
any
yeah.
powers? Like
That'd be interesting.
Trying to figure out a way to get them back.
That would definitely.
And what about ghosts? Are they just gone since we lost the light? You know. I don't think they'll
you
stick
obviously
around.
have to have your ghost.
Yeah, I think your
Well, do
ghost.
you?
I think your ghost is there because.
I mean, the gameplay I saw, people were using the
Oh, were
ghost.
they?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
and I heard Nolan North again is back, obviously talking. But
Yeah,
I
yeah,
will
I know
say
he's
that I'm not a hardcore Destiny fan at all. But I played it enough to where when I saw that initial opening story mission, I actually thought it was a little emotional, like seeing them all come together and Zavala throwing up his shield and everyone getting in and they're like blowing everything up, and you walk through the burning tower and you end up going through that section we always wanted to go
how many
through.
hours upon hours we spent just like running around there.
Right,
So
yeah.
it's just cool and kind of just like, oh no, seeing it
my
just,
loot.
like,
Right.
being burned to the ground.
It was kind of
But
emotional.
It was so like just in terms of cinematic moments on like a completely like whole nother level compared to like I mean, I guess the Taken King did some cool stuff, but even it's far beyond that. Just having Zavala like throw up his shield and him actually being there with you, like running around, and then seeing we're forgetting the Warlock lady's name, but then her pop out and they're like looking for the speaker. I'm like genuinely interested. I'm like, where's the speaker? What's gonna happen to the powers? Like this new bad guy,
Ikora.
what's his name?
Ikora Ray.
What?
That's her name.
Oh, Ikore.
Yeah.
Who's the bad guy?
His name's like
That's
Gall or
Gary?
something.
Gall.
Yeah, it's Gary.
He's cool.
He is. He looks very threatening.
Like he looks really cool. I'm really pumped just to even play through this campaign.
As am I.
So
Yeah, I will say, even in addition to the narrative, the fact that you're losing your powers just adds another sense of progression when you're trying to fight to get it back, and it gives you kind of a motivation. Like, they stole our light, they stole the Traveler. Where's the speaker? What the hell? And you have to earn it all back.
yeah,
so.
I'm just interested to see how they do that. In the narrative, because you can't go half the game not
Without
having
your powers.
Your powers, yeah.
Right.
So I wonder if it's like literally a mission or two and you get something back. So I want to know how they explain that.
Especially if you're jumping in and out of Crucible. I mean, I feel like when you go into Crucible, it's always all
that
balanced.
probably
Yeah,
unlocks
probably.
at some point.
Speaking of Crucible, all game types are 4v4 now instead of there were the 3v3s and the 6v6s.
Right.
So a lot of people like this change.
I didn't play enough Crucible to really know what people like and what they don't like.
Yeah.
So I don't really. I mean, that sounds cool. The new game mode they showed.
Countdown.
Countdown. That looked really cool.
They did look cool.
Search
yeah.
and destroy, right?
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah. How'd you guys feel about the new supers we've seen? Or the alterations that she just...
I was going to ask that. Are you guys going to stick with what you did in Destiny 1? Are you going to be Warlock? Or are you going to be Hunter?
I was going to ask you this. Are you going to, 1, stick with the same class, but 2, are you going to bring in your character from the previous game?
Yes. He's just like generic shaved head man.
So you see, mine's a generic. What's that race called? The robotic race?
Exo.
Exo. You see, my guy's an Exo, and I was never totally satisfied with his appearance. Not that it matters because you're constantly wearing armor, but I feel like especially after watching that initial story mission, it's like I kind of want to continue.
Yeah, I mean,
with
I'll
my
probably bring
Guardian.
mine in, and I'm assuming they'll have the ability to keep your helmet on. I kept it on at all times, anyways. Once they added that function,
I wouldn't mind a feature where you kind of like in Mass Effect, jumping from Mass Effect 1 to 2. I remember not only can you import your character from the previous playthrough of the first game, but you can also alter them slightly. Like in Mass Effect, from Mass Effect 1 to 2, I was telling Jacob.
That's the thing. What's the point? There's no story following you. So
no, there is no point. I
character.
just like having that option.
Then I think they'd just say start a new character.
Yeah, that's
I don't even see a point.
And you can almost make them look exactly the same with slight alterations.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even see the point of really bringing.
Well, I think you get like emblems or something for playing the original.
Yeah, there has to. I would like there has to be something besides just the way your character looks, because like the characters
just
looks
like
or
minor
whatever.
things.
There wasn't an
what was that part of the
system.
Zavala cinematic trailer where you see your Guardian ship from the first game taking off somewhere and he's looking at you flying?
Yeah, just showing how he
cool.
Came up.
That was one of my. I mean, that trailer, the whole thing was awesome. That little moment I thought was awesome.
Yeah.
I thought it was very cool.
Then last bit of news for PC. There's no date for when it's coming out, which a lot of people are kind of mad about. A lot of the PC people that want to play on PC, which I can understand. That's kind of frustrating because all these people are going to be playing on console.
That happens a lot.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah,
maybe they'll shift it into 10th gear and they'll get it done on time when the console comes out, but who knows. And also that the Destiny 2 is launching on Blizzard.net.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I don't want to leave this guy out.
Quick. Do your thing.
Yeah, I think I'm pronouncing this correctly. It says Actair says, "Hey guys, did you hear that Bungie, Activision, and Blizzard are teaming up with Destiny 2? So it'll be playable through the Battle.net app. I think this is great news.
I think it's
what
such
are
a
your
good
thoughts?
idea.
I think it's brilliant. That's great.
That's like 3 or 4 of my favorite games ever are just on the same launch client, which is awesome.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. I mean, I'm not a PC gamer, so it's like whatever. But there's so many people on the things I've seen that are so upset about it.
Really?
Yeah, but
why is that?
I don't know, but I'm assuming that a majority of PC gamers are like playing Overwatch and stuff, and that's fine. So like, okay, you open Battle.net instead of Steam. Who cares? Like, I never understood that.
I think the most exciting thing about just it being on Battle.net is just the fact that people are going to see Destiny 2. Like, if you play Hearthstone, like, that's what you play. You're going to see... Have you guys ever been on Battle.net, the client? Like, you see all the games listed on the left. You're like, Destiny 2. That looks interesting. You're like, maybe you watch a trailer or something. You're like, dude, that looks awesome. I'm going to try that out.
I'd like to meet this person that's never
heard of Destiny.
Right. Well, you know what I mean.
This?
Like,
whoa.
Now that it's right here, it's so convenient for me just to click play.
I mean, Jacob told me today he discovered World of Warcraft through an ad on dial-up. That's how we found out about it.
Well, it wasn't on dial-up. Those were 2 separate stories.
Oh, okay.
I just saw it like I was on some random web page and I saw World of Warcraft.
Assuming if you're using Battle.net, you probably know what Destiny is.
Probably.
You know what I mean, though.
Yeah.
Just the...
There is that chance.
Cool. Yeah. The biggest, of course, it's common knowledge that everybody on the internet literally complains about everything. Every Destiny themed forum site or video I've been on, people are just trashing it, saying it's awful. Who's going to buy this stuff? But the thing that's come out to the top is what we were talking about initially, is the whole 30 frames per second thing. Besides that, that's pretty much the only thing people are really latching onto that they hate so much. But like you said, I didn't even hear anybody talk about it in the first Destiny, it being 30 frames. And like we were saying, it was like rock solid. So like it didn't even matter. Yeah, 60's better. Okay. But I think people are just trying to find something to complain about more. If you don't want 30, just play on PC. I mean, I'll be playing on console. So, and 30 was fine.
Is it confirmed that the frame rate will differ on PC?
Yeah, it's
unlocked.
Uncapped.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
They were saying it could be like 200. If you can,
I might have to get it on PC.
If you can do that. You think the Scorpio will do 60 frames?
See, I think someone in an interview asked them about Scorpio, and they're not commenting right now. But
maybe they don't know.
I think why would it not be?
Well, I was initially thinking that how is there going to be is it going to be unfair for people on the Xbox One playing multiplayer against a person on the Scorpio if they're in 60 and they're in 30?
That's true, yeah.
But somebody from Microsoft tweeted a while ago saying that they weren't holding any restrictions on developers from doing... See, PlayStation, they already came out and said that they are not going to allow that. Because a lot of people were saying, why can't it be in 60 on PS4 Pro, at least in the Crucible? So that probably is the reason why. Mm-hmm. But so it technically, they won't get in trouble with Microsoft if they do it 60 on Scorpio. I would assume that they would want to do that. With it being, I would have liked to have had the option. I don't understand why. A lot of people are commenting saying, why can't it be 1080p 60 frames for PS4 Pro? I'm assuming the reason why is they want console parity between the Pro and the regular version, so they just can't do that. So I don't know. That's the only explanation I can see. I think that it's not that big of a deal. Even people playing it at the event said it played fine and played great. And yeah, like I said, I never heard anybody complain about it, about the first one. That was with all the other crap going on in the game, nobody was talking about that.
Okay. So I have a question to present to you guys. Let's briefly address the split among fans, it seems, at least online, and people saying, like, this looks like glorified DLC for the first one, which I don't disagree with them. I mean, it does look incredibly similar to the first one. But there are plenty of minor changes, which we've discussed, that make it different, or at least somewhat fresh. But aesthetically, I won't deny the fact that it almost looks identical to the first one. Now, of course, some of the menus are slightly altered.
The UI interface kind of looks different, like just, where your supers are.
Yeah, that's the main difference I've seen, where your super list is and all your abilities. That looks significantly different. But aesthetically, like, a lot of the animations look the same. Most of them, not all of them, most of them sound the same.
Yeah, I think the gunplay in itself has not changed at all. So
I've heard, not that this is really goes into like the core mechanics, but Golden Gun, for example, I like the alteration where you have the 6-shot option where it's much shorter, but you have 6 quick shots. That's cool. But and I've also heard
is different too.
Yeah, I heard jumping feels a little weird because I was watching. I think it was Mr. Fruit I was watching. He said when he first started jumping, it felt slightly. Maybe it was someone else said it felt slightly different. But
I've heard that they slowed the Crucible down a little bit,
which is interesting.
It takes longer to kill.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's the same as when Destiny originally started, but through just years of playing, people mastered how to move around. Like, there's this thing called Titan skating, where you could do your jump in a way where you would skate across the map, like you would glide really quickly across like maps and hallways and stuff. Then hunters had their Night Stalker little roll thing and stuff. So I think they're just stepping back and making it more like Halo, kind of, where it takes longer to kill people.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch Crucible gameplay?
Yeah.
Okay, so did I. Yeah. It looks fun.
Yeah. I mean, my retort to what you were saying is that in all these discussions, like what we want from Destiny 2, this is checking off everything we wanted.
Yeah.
In terms of what we
pretty
wanted
much,
in the sequel, for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a few graphical updates and stuff, but this is what I expected out of Destiny 2. I think a lot of people were thinking this was going to be like a whole jump in like technology and stuff, and it was like going to be like the next gen.
I think people were just expecting them to utilize a different engine to up it even more, but I wasn't expecting that per se. But again, we have not seen everything that's in the game. I mean, this really was. I mean, it seemed like there was a lot, but on the surface, there wasn't that much they revealed.
You think they'll be at E3 on Sony stage, or do you think this was like their kind of E3?
No, they'll be at E3.
Yeah, they'll be at E3, and of course we'll find out more there, but I think we'll really have an idea of exactly what it is come closer to release, of course. But I will say that I played enough of Destiny 1 to the point where I didn't feel like I overplayed it. I never got to a point where I got on just to do the daily stuff, but I played it enough to know that not only have I taken a long break from Destiny, but come September, I will be more than ready to jump into the sequel. Yeah. So for those that have played it religiously, I mean, not everyone does this. I hardly know anyone that does this, but those who have played it nearly every week since launch, I can see why they'd see this and be like, this literally looks like DLC for the first one. But for me, someone who stepped away for an extended period of time, I'm more than ready to jump back in, and I know for a fact I'll play the crap out of this when it comes out.
Yeah, but that, even if it was DLC, that is extremely like substantial DLC. It's 4 new planets, not just like the Dreadnought. Like, it's 4 new planets, a new raid, all these new strikes, all these new Crucible maps, an entire new arsenal of weapons and exotics, all these adventure quests and stuff, all the small little updates in terms of not having to go to orbit, all the changes to the weapon system, the new subclass. Like, it is a crap ton of new stuff.
I think it's just they all seem like very minute things. The fact there's not like one big thing. That's why I think people are like, oh, it's kind of the same. But there are very like all the culmination of all. The
it has to stay Destiny. It was Destiny.
I think ultimately it comes down to aesthetics because I think people, in order for things to feel fresh, if it looks different aesthetically, it feels more fresh.
I completely agree. I think that's what it is. I think it's literally the art styles, for the most part, the same. The graphics,
menus are the same.
Exactly. I think it just gives the perception of, this is the same thing. We're completely ignoring the fact of all those things I listed are completely different just because, it kind of looks the same.
I haven't heard this argument, but this is a question I would present if I were in someone's shoes like that, because I'm not upset about it. I'm excited for it, but it almost feels like they worked so hard on creating DLC to enhance the experience of Destiny 1 that by the time they started working on the sequel, they just worked with what they had and added things to it to make it the new game. I think that's maybe why, at least right now, maybe things will be altered. I don't know before launch, but maybe that's why it looks so similar. Because we've worked so hard on this DLC just to make Destiny 1 better and address all the fans' complaints that by the time we start working on the sequel, we pretty much have to start where we've ended with the DLC and go from there.
There's also the argument, I think you might have just mentioned this, but if you change all that stuff, is it really even Destiny anymore?
Right.
For COD to change the way it did, they had to change little things,
little by little
as it went.
I don't know if it's appropriate to compare the two, but just it being Bungie, considering the jump from Halo 1, 2, and 3, although they are entirely different games and on a scale much smaller than what Destiny is, I think the fact that people recollect, especially coming from Bungie, the jump between those three games, then go from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2, like we've mentioned, we're not the kind of people that are complaining about it being exactly the same, but for those people that are upset about it, I think it is all the little things that make it.
I think it has something
fresh.
to do with what you said, how we were getting substantial DLCs as time went on and it was improving. Imagine we didn't have those. Vanilla Destiny
2
now Destiny 2.
What an incredible
people would be
jump
like, holy shit, everything's so much better.
Right.
I think it might have been that we're used to having these substantial things that,
and it's sort of a victim of the genre it's in, because with these types of games you have to update them continuously for people to keep playing. Like what would a sequel to World of Warcraft look like, honestly, other than just graphical enhancements? Because I feel like they've changed things throughout the growth of that game.
I couldn't even come up with it.
Right.
Technically this could have been an expansion.
Right.
It could have been a whole $60 whole new game. So maybe there's a reason why they wanted to call it Destiny 2. Maybe it'll sell more because it's like maybe it's easier to be like, this is Destiny 2, like woo, as opposed to like, this is Destiny subtitle The Towers Fall or something like that. Maybe
you just gotta
being a sequel,
you gotta think of it
generates
just
more
like,
hype and stuff.
It's like Halo 1 to Halo 2. This is like Destiny 1 to Destiny 2. Like they're the same game, but
Halo 1 and Halo 2 are drastically different.
They are a little bit
but
different.
Granted, like I said, none of them are like a social mini MMO. I mean, it's strictly just
it's not like they're not recreating the foundation of what the series is. It's just like, this is still Destiny, but there's a lot of things that we changed, a lot of minor things that we changed, enough to make you super excited for the sequel. But
and Halo didn't throw out Halo and then within a couple of months be like, okay, you're watching us improve
progress.
We're watching us. We watched Destiny start from a fun game but progress into something like really, really good, and we're just seeing the next evolution of that. So it's like we've seen it grow up. So seeing what the next product isn't as mind-blowing as if we didn't see that process of DLCs.
It's like watching an adolescent grow into a teenager, then into a young adult. You're like, wow, look at all this progression you're making. Then you hit your 20s and no one cares.
And you're
anymore.
expecting it to like go so far beyond.
I just had my 24th birthday and it was just no thing. Everyone's like, all right, cool, you're 24. Great. So that's all it was. It's kind of a weird comparison.
No, I think
a way it's similar.
I think that just following the DLC has something to do with it, though, because when you see a sequel, you expect it to just be completely, crazy different. But I don't know. I think we've kind of just repeating the same talking points over and over again. I think it's a good amount of content, and I'm excited.
I think it's all safe to say Jacob's hyped.
Yeah, and everybody at that thing was hyped as hell. They're screaming and going crazy. I think the people that we're seeing, the what's it called, the negative,
the negativity on the streams and stuff, and
or just
comments,
the people, the more vocal people, the I know there's like a term for them. There's the silent majority and the vocal minority.
That's the thing. Like
the vocal minority are the people that were trashing the first Destiny and weren't going to buy this in the first place.
I'll be the first to say I totally understand if people are disappointed with the reveal. I can put myself in their shoes and see why they're disappointed. Just especially for me, I haven't played Destiny in so long that I'm going to be ready to go back to it when the sequel comes. So
I don't know why you would be a big Destiny fan and be disappointed with this.
Right.
It's
I think it really just, like I said, I think it just comes down to its aesthetics. Because I saw multiple same. I mean, this is such a simple thing, but I have an eye for these kinds of things. A lot of even the reload animations were the same. A lot of it sounds the same. All the menus look the same. I can see why people can see that and be like, oh, it's the same game.
I can see that too.
So,
but I mean, you're reloading a gun.
Right.
I know that's such a little thing, but people do have an eye for those kinds of things, and even I have an eye for this. Like I remember the death animations in Call of Duty were the same for like 6 years in a row, and I was like, at least add a new death animation or something. Not that it matters. None of that stuff ever bothers me, but I notice those types of things. So.
I mean, there's only a few ways to load a gun, and if you die, you fall to the ground.
Yeah,
so.
I know that's such a little thing, but there are people that notice those.
No, I mean, I agree with you overall with just the aesthetic looking the same, and that just gives the perception of, I guess I didn't change anything. Mm-hmm. So,
but
obviously
I'm
that's
excited.
not true. I'm excited too. So, I mean, I'm not like, we're ready to break down a wall, but I'll definitely be playing this, and I'm excited. I liked Destiny. I didn't even play Rise of Iron. Mm-hmm. I just didn't really have a lot of time. Hopefully, I'm just praying I have time to even start this game. I'm going to be so behind everybody, Lord knows. One more thing before we move on. One raid, good or bad?
Starting with one raid, right?
Starting with one raid.
I think it's fine if they keep the promise of in their, I think the last what is it, where their quarterly earnings thing that Activision does, they said that their plan was to have a regular schedule throughout the year of content updating.
Okay.
And if they keep to that, if we can get more than one raid a year, then I will be happy. If we still just keep doing this one raid thing a year, I don't know how I'm going to feel about that. Yeah. So that might be disappointing. I
agree with that. I do not think it's a big deal at all just having one raid
just to start
in the base game. I didn't even expect there to be more than one. I've heard a lot of people, why isn't there Destiny 2? There needs to be 2 raids. I kind of like there being one raid that everybody is just like, we're doing this raid, our mind is set on this raid, we're focused on doing this, these rewards. If I don't know, that just feels a little weird if there were 2 of them. Yeah. You know what I mean? I feel like, really explain it. I just like there being one raid that everybody's focused on, everybody's talking about.
Cycling back to Halo, Master Chief had 2 SMGs on the cover of Halo 2, so there should be 2 raids. It's a fair comparison.
I feel like a raid every 6 to 8
Ezio had
months.
two blades in Assassin's Creed 2. You have to have 2 in the
raids.
sequel.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's a good point. It's a valid
point.
In
Gears 2, you could chainsaw people in the back. It's a second way to chainsaw someone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying here? There's a pattern here that people have come to expect. Exactly.
Yeah, you're right.
So,
all right.
Well, you can have 2 primary weapons now.
That's true.
Yeah. There's 2 abilities in your class now.
You want to have a scout rifle to hit people from long range and maybe a hand cannon for
2 hand cannons. So I've debunked your argument.
I wish you could dual wield them. I don't think you can. That needs to be a thing.
That'd be a cool super or something.
Exotic.
Yeah.
Exotic sidearms.
That would be cool. Exotic sidearms.
It's funny because I always loved the idea of dual wielding guns, but even in Halo, I was never a big fan of dual wielding guns.
Well, the SMGs weren't very good.
I will say in Halo 3 up close with dual wield SMGs, you were a slaughterhouse with those things. But I mean, Halo's more of a range game for the most part.
Akimbo and Modern Warfare 2 was deadly.
It was. I remember Zach.
Yeah, I'll never forget him akimboing.
All he played was the I think it was the G3s, G16s. What were they called? Those machine pistols.
G18s.
G18s. That's what they were. Had suppressors on both of them, and I just ran around with suppressed G18s, dual wielding them.
You could akimbo and suppress them. Oh my gosh!
I had the I used to rock the intervention sniper, and then I'd have the G18s as my side.
I remember I used to
ACR all day for me.
There were pistols like those in Black Ops 2, and I did that sometimes. I would akimbo them.
Nice.
But anything else to say about Destiny?
No, just super excited.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go back to the Titan if you guys are going to play Hunter and Warlock. So we'll have a nice diverse.
I'll probably go back to Warlock.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with my Hunter.
I'm excited for that Titan shield. I want to be Captain America.
That is a cool ability. That is cool. Hey, Dawnblade for the Warlock. How'd you feel about Dawnblade, Preston? You're going to be wielding that.
Yeah, looks fun.
It's kind of cool. And Arc Strider, is it called?
Yeah.
That's kind of like it's basically a more finessed, dancier arc blade.
Yeah.
So Whatever, it's cool, I guess. But I've always been a Golden Gun guy. Golden Gun forever.
There have been jokes I was reading saying that it's different than Arcblade because it showed a guy actually getting kills with it.
Dude, when it first came out, Arcblade slaughtered me in Crucible.
Yeah.
I got destroyed by it all the time. Of course,
I think it was only good for Crucible, right? I don't see anybody.
It was good in the Crota raid because you could turn invisible
and stuff.
You could turn
invisible. So
gotcha.
But yeah.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, that brings us to our news segment, which will slowly become regular. Mm-hmm. But News Nugs. It is our segment where we cover the quick little stories of the week that we have much to say about, but they're notable. Okay. Guys, Ubisoft has confirmed their next 3 games, which is no big surprise at all. This comes from Reese Pugget's-Chew. All of this news comes from Reese Pugget's-Chew of nerdmuch.com. According to Ubisoft's annual earnings report and founder of Ubisoft, Yves Guillemot, we will be seeing the return of Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, The Crew, and South Park in 2017 and 2018. Speaking of which, South Park, The Fractured But Whole is dated for October 17th of this year.
Finally.
Now, we've seen the logo for Far Cry 5, and I think Yves did confirm that whoever said it was a Western was 100% incorrect. So it is not going to be a Western, the next Far Cry. That being said, the logo, I want to bring up Mr. Hooded Dude Felipe in our Discord has been saying that he thinks it's going to be an 80s game or based in the US in the 80s based on the logo. Now, I don't really know what to think, but I don't think he's far off from that. I think he may be correct.
I think it's been confirmed because a trailer is being shot in Montana or something that it is in America.
Mm-hmm.
So,
how do you guys feel about the potential of it being in America?
It's in Montana and it's not a Western, then what is it?
I don't know.
Interesting.
No,
I'll be interested to see how a Far Cry game works in America.
Right. Now, I did not play Primal. I always thought it looked cool, but I've yet to be disappointed with a Far Cry game. Granted, Far Cry 2 was far less fun than 3 and 4, I think. As you and I remember, we picked up Far Cry 2 and Fallout 3, and we were pumped for Far Cry. We're like, this is kind of cool, but then we jumped into Fallout and basically forgot about Far Cry 2. Yeah. But I love Far Cry 3. My favorite setting in Far Cry thus far, with the exception of Blood Dragon, was in Far Cry 3 in the tropical island. Mm-hmm. Now, were we in like Nepal or something in Far Cry 4 in the Himalayas?
Yeah,
something like that?
It's a fake place.
Yeah, but essentially that's basically what it was. I didn't mind that setting, but I definitely preferred Far Cry 3's. Now, the U.S.
A quick question.
And Montana.
So is Montana close to like the Grand Canyon or the Rockies? Like I know it's over there, but how close is it to that stuff?
I'm terrible with geography.
You know,
I'm totally honest with you.
Because I can see like going up to the top of the Rockies or something, and skydiving down.
Yeah, down into what?
I don't know.
The ravine.
There's all this crazy shit to do in Far Cry.
There's a bandit camp down in the Grand Canyon.
There aren't crocodiles in the Midwest, are there?
I don't.
I think crocodiles are only in Florida.
That's a swamp
and Louisiana
thing,
and stuff.
I don't know. It's all speculation.
Crocodiles.
I'm sure we'll see.
We live in the U.S. and I hardly know anything about it.
We'll see a reveal. What other games did you say?
Crew.
The Crew. I would if you would have asked me, is there going to be a Crew 2? I would have said no.
I remember when they announced that game, I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. I might want to try that, but I never.
Once
played
it released, I heard nothing.
I
didn't know anybody playing it.
That's the game where you could drive across the entire United States. Right?
I guess it must have had some sort of following for them to make a sequel.
Well, that's one way to get to know the U.S. better is to drive across it in the Crew.
Yeah.
And I am exaggerating. I'm not that idiotic when it comes to the geography of the U.S., but I don't know much about Montana. Now, I know Montana is a beautiful state because I've seen Montana in movies and stuff, but I don't know what all you do. And that's the thing. It sounds so Western-y, though, when you think Montana, because with Montana, there have been Westerns based in Montana. But he says it's not a Western, so.
No. Even the logo doesn't even look anything like a Western.
Unless you're trying to throw us off. Yeah. But I think it'd be crazy of them to put out a Western game when Red Dead's coming out.
No. What if it's like Blood
Dragon? The only thing we even knew about it being a Western was it was being shot in Montana.
What if it was? What if it was Blood Dragon? Because you've seen it was based in the 80s. And I think Blood Dragon was based in the 80s as well, like a sci-fi, cyberpunk 80s or 70s type thing.
It was just a callback to 80s action sci-fi movies. I don't know. I think it'll be cool. I think it'll be a nice change of pace from just these tropical places. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know how they'll do it either, but I'm very interested now. So
as am I.
It's also an Assassin's Creed. I'm super pumped to see that.
And it's pretty much confirmed it's Egypt at this point.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So yeah, I imagine we'll see all 3 of those at E3 next month.
Ubisoft's press conference. Maybe it'll actually be a good press conference this year with all those new games.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I think they're going live at 4 on Sunday.
Ubisoft?
Yeah.
On Sunday?
Monday. Sorry.
Okay.
4 on Monday.
Yeah. I hate all these
There's only 2 conferences on Monday now.
Yeah.
I know, that kills me because I love Mondays on E3
it's all
each year.
This all the weekend now before.
That bums me out, dude. I love those big Mondays. We're still going to have fun, but...
I'm pretty sure EA is Saturday.
I know Xbox is Saturday now.
And Sunday night's Bethesda.
Xbox,
right?
no.
Xbox is Sunday.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I was going to say
Xbox is Sunday, Bethesda Sunday.
Yeah.
Nintendo's
I
Tuesday.
loved watching Bethesda, going to sleep, and then just waking up Monday for just like
Everything
Microsoft and stuff.
action. Yeah,
that was always my favorite. Waking up, watching Microsoft, and we go to T-Bell and come back. Watch
it
the rest,
benefits
order pizza.
my work because the job I'm at, I said 5 to 1 hours, so I would have missed everything. So getting off at 1, now I can watch everything and not have to take off work.
There you
so
go.
it benefits me.
Absolutely.
I guess I could have too, but I took off the Monday anyway.
Nice.
Do I have school that day? I think I might. I might have to skip.
I don't know. I'm still pumped regardless. I cannot wait.
As am I. I'm very excited. I think this is going to be a huge E3.
It's like Christmas. It's just that feeling of excitement before a press conference starts is just so freaking exciting.
It's the time of year when you can't stop thinking about games that are coming out and you can't play what you already have.
It's going to be a big year. I get the feeling we're going to see more of what we're already familiar with at Sony's E3
I just
this year.
want the Spider-Man gameplay, Garrett.
If I had one wish, that would be it for all of
give
E3.
it to me.
That's my one wish.
Give it to me. What if they do like more Last of Us stuff? I know it's super, super early in development, and if it's too far away, I don't even want to see it. But I kind of do want to see it too.
Maybe they'll tease something slight.
Because that first Last of Us reveal demo is one of the coolest E3 things of all time. Like, just the way that demo was structured and just listening to crowd reacts to everything just automatically makes it way more epic.
Yeah.
But, that's such
I'll never forget. That was that one demo that starts playing and it just immediately grabs your attention. Like, there's something about this that interests me. And then...
it's him going through the hotel.
Yeah.
And then it ends with him taking the shotgun from the dude and he's about to blow his head off. And then it just stops.
I remember you called me immediately after that. You're like, did you just see that? I was like, oh my gosh, yes.
I know.
But
so cool.
I remember just one moment on there. Even in playing through the game, I love these moments. But the fact in the demo where his... handgun's empty.
Yeah.
And he shoots and it just chinks and the guy's like, oh, he's out, get to him or something. I was like, oh, that's so awesome that they realize that your gun's empty.
So freaking cool. I want to see that. I want to see that again. So freaking cool. That and you think this is the year, Garrett?
Oh, for Splinter Cell?
You think this is the year?
I think it needs to be.
You just eventually keep saying it's going to happen.
It's going to happen in 1 year. They can't just abandon Splinter Cell. They can't do that to me.
I could care less.
I mean, if they're going to make a 5th Thief game, they should make another Splinter Cell.
That's a good point.
That's a good point.
Granted, just different.
Oh, wait, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think
but...
Thief 5 was just recently denied or something.
What?
Denied.
At least based on a comment I read from Reese, I think that Thief 5 may not be happening, but the movie's happening.
Well, I thought they said.
I think Thief 5 was
considered.
that's what I read, but I think it might have changed since then.
Well,
but regardless, if that's even in the talks,
they want to ride upon their hands.
Yeah.
Deny me a new Thief game and see what happens.
Yeah.
Feel the wrath of ItsObviousGaming.
Yeah, they will feel the wrath, that is certain. But
that was quite the news nug.
That was.
It was.
That was like
you want to hear something amazing?
Tinder.
Want to hear something amazing that was unintentional? I think it was last episode, Jacob, our news nugs. Each one, I'm not even kidding, when I was doing the time codes, were exactly 2 minutes. Unintentional. We talked for exactly 2 minutes on each one. Now, this has probably been like 4.
Yeah.
But last week, we nailed it, and we didn't even say we had a set time. Speaking of news nugs, Overwatch's anniversary skins have been revealed, at least 4 of them. I don't think there'll be more, but we've seen Zarya, Soldier, Pharah, and Bastion. Which one's your favorite, Jacob?
Out of those, I really like the Soldier. And also the Pharah looks pretty cool. I know it's kind of similar to one of our other ones, but it still looks cool.
I will say, saw a decent bit of orange in Soldiers and Bastion skins. I was hoping for some orange. I think Soldier looks cool. It seems very mechanical. I mean, they keep going obviously they're in the future, so they're going the robotic, futuristic route. But I also think Soldier looks the coolest, and Zarya looks kind of cool too.
It's nice to see her get a skin. Finally.
Yeah, definitely. I like her mask. And it also says, according to the official Overwatch Twitter account, the game will have 3 new arena maps, kind of similar to the Eco Point Antarctica, I think. That will be included to the soon-to-come Overwatch Anniversary celebration on May 23rd. That's this week. The maps look to be set in pre-existing areas like Eichenwald, Temple of Anubis, and Dorado. Yep. And a new mode will be playable on the new map alterations.
I don't know anything about the new map, or new mode.
Neither do I.
It's interesting.
So
I wonder what it'll be.
Can I, every time you say news nug, can I play this?
Yeah.
Ugh.
That's pretty obnoxious. I would love to implement some kind of jingles into our segments. I think it'd be awesome.
Is that? I think of a rooster when you say news nugs.
You know what we should do? Hey, I haven't heard from Kenny in a long time, but we should contact Kenny and see if he's willing to make us very short, like 3 to 5 second jingles for each segment we do. Unless people would just be annoyed by that. But I love our guitar intro. I'd love like a Bill and Ted type thing where they're like into each segment, something goofy like that, and I think it'd be funny. But
I know a lot of podcasts that do that. I like that stuff.
Me too. If anyone's up for some alteration sound effects or little guitar licks or something, maybe a scream like "No Stocks" and a quick breakdown when we go into it. That'd be pretty rad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. But how do you feel about the Overwatch stuff, Jacob? You excited?
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I'd rather just wait for the event to come out because I don't really know.
23rd is Tuesday?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's tomorrow.
Yeah, they better get all the Destiny they can out there because once Overwatch, because once Destiny has Battle.net, nobody's going to play Overwatch anymore.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know about that.
I think Overwatch is so powerful to the point where it'll be fine.
I was joking. It was a joke.
I know. It was a pretty good one.
Thanks.
But what were we talking about? Overwatch? Yeah, Tuesday. I'm very excited for that. Those of you guys that want to play some Overwatch, I imagine 1, we'll be streaming, but 2, if you guys want to just team up with us and play these new arena modes.
Tuesday night, I will be playing Overwatch. So
I imagine I'll be joining you, Jacob.
Look for me online if you want to play.
Absolutely.
Tuesday night, my time, which is Eastern U.S. So
I'm going to skip the Battlefront trailer because in retrospect, it was basically the same thing as the trailer they already released. They just kind of discussed what their decisions were and how they came to the conclusion. Apparently, the idea of the Imperial Soldier was pitched to them.
What if we had a VR Battlefront experience with the gun?
That would be awesome. Anything using the gun, I'm up for in VR.
Okay.
So I'd play Goat Simulator in VR.
What if they just came out with a lightsaber move controller?
I mean, use a move controller as a lightsaber.
Or you just use a move controller, yeah.
That'd be amazing. I'm fine with that. I mean, they tried to do that with Kinect, and it was a total failure.
Yeah, but
remember how goofy that game was?
Sucked, though. Oh, not that the moves are great, but it's way better than the Kinect in terms of one-to-one precision.
What did you use with the Kinect? Were there controllers?
No, it's just your body.
No, it's your body.
That was the
your body is the
You're the controller.
That was so dumb.
I mean, I remember watching Zach play through that, and I think at first he tried to justify, like, oh, it's good, man, it's good. And the more he played it, you realize how terrible it was. Watching Han Solo dance with stormtroopers, never want to see that again. It was terrible.
Yeah.
I don't remember. There's a bunch of janky things about that, but the new Harvest Moon game is coming. It's called Light of Hope. You heard about this? For Switch, yes.
Thank you.
It sounds pretty cool. The story says, Light of Hope will take the player on a brand new journey. Unfortunately, during their voyage at sea, a monsoon takes the ship down and the players washed ashore a small harbor town. The town, also affected by the storm, must be rebuilt by the player, and most importantly, the lighthouse must be saved. As usual, the task of growing crops, livestock, and gathering materials is all part of building yet another amazing community with new friends and family. According to the president and CEO, Natsumi Hiro Maekawa? That's Maekawa. I nailed that one. Light of Hope is to emulate the SNES title, stating that it is a nostalgic style while having even more in-depth characters, events, story, and clear-cut goals.
Oh, wow.
Harvest Moon, Light of Hope on Switch. Expect me to jump in.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see how this does in a post-Stardew Valley world.
That's a great point, Preston. Because I am thrilled to play that when it comes to Switch finally. Because all I've seen for that, I'm like, I don't know what it is about this game.
That is considered like
the SNES style of Harvest Moon, sort of.
Yeah, that's like the top, especially since the Harvest Moon game hasn't come out in a while. That was like just perfection in terms of that type of game. So
that is a good point.
I'll be interested to see how people react to like, oh, Stardew Valley did this better, you know, blah, blah, blah.
I imagine if they could take what Stardew Valley has excelled at, but have it a 3D world with decent graphics on Switch for a Harvest Moon title, that's what was
Is it going to be 3D? If it's SNES style,
that's true. If they make it SNES style,
they might have seen Stardew Valley
and someone like, oh, let's copy that.
Go back to
that's a good point. Yeah. What was that?
Whoa!
Is that someone's phone?
It's a PlayStation app.
It was
going off.
Interesting. Do you ever silence your phone? It doesn't bother me, but I'm just curious because I've never heard your phone vibrate. It always makes a noise.
No, I don't silence it.
Ever?
I mean, I do when I need to, like at work or something.
So how come, I don't care, but how come you don't silence it here just out of curiosity?
I don't know.
Do you need it for emergencies to go off just in case?
Just in case.
Okay.
I think he's just a rude asshole. That's why.
You are kind of a son of a bitch, Jacob. That's the second time I've called you a bitch in this podcast. I don't mean it because you could kick my ass. I wanted to show this switch bag off that's Jacob's backpack.
Wow.
Jacob, why don't you show us what this is all about?
Did that come with your bundle?
No.
It was $50.
Wow.
Now this thing is awesome. awesome. Show it off, Jacob.
Holy
pouch
crap.
right there. Yeah.
Okay. That's just for the Switch. That's
Well, you can put a ton of stuff.
Dude, this
in
main pocket is
Okay.
really impressive.
Let me see it.
headphones. Yeah, you sold yet?
Okay.
He has a Pro Controller slot.
Do you have a Pro
It's just a-
Controller?
Is that not
Not
the main
yet.
pocket? Is this the main pocket?
This is the main.
Oh, okay. I was
Your
mistaken.
$800 bundle didn't come with a Pro Controller?
Nope.
Dude.
Was it? It wasn't $800, was it?
There's all these
It was a
compartments
joke.
for
I was
everything.
gonna say, holy crap! See, I love this, and I
Yeah,
love
The
that.
that's
dock
pretty cool.
station, all the Joy-Cons.
Wow.
Now, this is perfect when we go to Evan's house because I've been taking my Switch over there.
Is
and
there
my,
a dock holder?
It's at the
Nice.
bottom.
Yeah.
That's cool. Ah.
But I told you, Preston, we've been going back and forth to Evan's with my Switch, and it's not necessarily inconvenience to take over there, but what Jacob has is perfect for that.
Yeah.
That's exactly why I bought it.
So-
Yeah, I just think it's a really cool bag.
It is. It's.
I
I
like
like
the
the
look of
color
it.
scheme. It's
Okay.
nice.
I'm going to use it for pretty much anywhere I go now.
But living the advertisement of what the Switch offers, just taking it over to like a party environment or something, like Antisocial Karen, remember her from the ad? That's basically what we did at Evans, where we took it over and had some drinks and played some Mario Kart. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, wow.
On his big projector.
We did. The final news nug, guys. The Witcher TV show is coming to Netflix. This is super cool. My dogs are singing a chorus for us downstairs. It says, not tied to the games, but CD Projekt Red has no involvement. The writer of the 8 novels, Andrzej Sapkowski, will serve as the creative consultant. The director of all 3 Witcher intro videos from the games and the Cyberpunk 2077 teaser trailer will direct the Witcher movie and direct at least 1 episode per season of the show. Coming to Netflix, creative consultant, the author of the original 8 novels.
Yes.
This is super cool. Now, before we
excited.
continue, Mr. Exum, community member, says, an OG, I should say, so we all love The Witcher. Found out Netflix is bringing us a Witcher series. I'm super excited for this because they are going to stay true to what The Witcher is, and the writer of the books is also helping. How do you guys feel about a Witcher series? Who do you think would be a good cast choice, and are you as excited as I am? I will say, one, I am as excited as you are. I think this is super cool. I love the world, the lore of The Witcher. I think Geralt of Rivia is an awesome character. Granted, I haven't read the books. So I don't know how he differs from the games to the books. But regardless, the fact that the author is not only very passionate about this, but creatively consulting the production of the TV show, I have a lot of faith in what we could see. And I have heard specifically from Max Scoville of IGN saying that a couple of the books where it just tells short stories of his small quests that Geralt goes on are super interesting and cool. So I don't know if now we have no other details other than like a show's coming. The guy who wrote the books is helping a bit. That's all we really know.
Is it going to bother you that his voice isn't going to be the same?
It could bother me because I'm
That's
so
my biggest
winds
fear.
howling.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna miss that.
That's
What
Geralt.
now, you filth?
That's Geralt to me. It's just that voice.
Oh, me too. Yeah, absolutely. So it could throw me off a bit. And we'll get to who we think should be cast momentarily, but what would you rather see? Riddle me this, as I like to say. Would you like to see a short story-based seasons of The Witcher, or he just goes on tiny quests, and perhaps over the period of these tiny quests, there's a subplot that develops from start to finish by the last episode?
Yeah.
Or would you rather see a more Game of Thrones style approach?
That.
Game of Thrones style?
No, the first one.
The first one?
Yeah. That
Okay.
is Witcher to me, is that.
Yeah, what if they were maybe half an hour to an hour long episodes where it literally is just different quests, and maybe the final 2 episodes is a slightly bigger quest. In addition, like I said, a subplot that develops like a main overarching mission or storyline that develops from start to finish to the end. I think that'd be super cool. So I don't know what to really expect, and people are assuming it's going to be live action. I assume it's going to be live action, but you never know. They could go an animated route, and we have no idea.
Oh, what if they did that and then kept the voice actor?
See, listen to this. How cool would this be? You know how they made Kingsglaive from Final Fantasy in that animation? What if they animated exactly how they do the Witcher trailers, but it was a full-on TV show?
Yeah.
That would be so expensive to where it's probably impossible.
that
But I
would
have
be.
always wanted to see more movies like that. Now, I haven't seen Kingsglaive, but I already know the way it looks would be incredible. For example,
And that's only like a 2-hour ordeal. Like,
Right.
imagine an
a full
entire
series. I mean,
like
Netflix
that.
is very successful, but I don't know if they have that much money.
Yeah.
But dude, I would love that. Because, for example, Blur Studios does a lot of the video game trailers. We see they did a lot of the Arkham trailers. And I always loved Arkham Origins trailer. And I always said, man, what if they made a full-on Batman film in that art style and that style of animation? And they did all the effects for Deadpool as well. But I think that'd be amazing. I highly doubt that's the case because money. But let's say it is going to be live action. Let's cast the Witcher show off the top of our heads. Now, I already have 2 actors for only 2 characters, so I couldn't think of the rest. I couldn't really think of anyone. Okay. But for Geralt of Rivia, now I'm not the first to say this. I thought I was the genius at first, but then I realized a ton of other people have said this too. The guy who plays Jaime Lannister to play Geralt. Imagine if they roughed him up a bit, gave him a nice beard, I guess you could temporarily dye the man's hair white, but imagine him with a white beard, a couple of scars, the yellow eyes, and the long hair. I think he could probably pull off Geralt.
I could see it.
Now, I wonder if he would emulate Geralt's voice or just go with his normal voice.
I don't know.
Because I think Geralt is such a hardcore character that he kind of has to have a rougher voice. Kind of like Chad Kroeger from Nickelback. If you can emulate that, I think the intimidation factor is amplified
Chad
significantly.
Kroeger to be Geralt.
Yeah, Chad Kroeger with his curly, like noodle hair.
Just put a wig on him.
Noodle hair.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think his hair is perfect. Just go slightly different inspiration for Geralt. So maybe this Geralt's a musician.
I think you're an idiot.
Sorry, Jacob. I didn't mean to disappoint you.
Well, you did call him a bitch twice.
Yeah, we're at each other's throats this episode. But I think he would be a decent Geralt. Who do you guys think? Anyone else you can think of?
I agree.
Okay, what do you think, Jacob?
I don't have any good ideas.
They could go really edgy and have like Halle Berry play Geralt of Rivia or something.
Wow. Okay.
She played Catwoman.
You're right.
So
what does that have to do with Geralt?
Geralt's sort of a medieval Jedi / superhero.
They both have cat eyes.
Exactly. That's where the inspiration came from, Jacob. Use your head, man. Gosh.
You bitch.
I'm going to quit calling Jacob that because there's one day if I ever pissed off Jacob enough, you could snap me like a twig, and that's the last thing I want to do. And honestly, I'm so attracted to you that it might turn me on a bit if you killed me. So
I'd probably break your arm. I don't think I could snap you in half.
You might be able to. You could bane it where you pick me up and break me over your knee.
Yeah.
And the whole time,
I can't imagine doing
the whole time.
I
think of it as sort of like a hardcore erotic.
I feel like
situation.
if any of us ever got into real beef, we need to take it out on the tracks.
Yeah, I agree. Take it to the tracks.
Yeah. Mario Kart it up.
Mm-hmm. I've never been in a real fight before. Have you? Now I say real fight. I've technically had when I was a little kid full on sparring and karate.
I punched a guy in the face one time, but as I was in mid extension of my arm, my brain was like,
"Don't do it!
Don't do this!" So it was like, "Pah."
You barely touched him, yeah.
And then it was harder than that, but and he just sat there, and I was like,
in shock.
Shit, I shouldn't have punched him because he was a big dude.
Yeah.
He got up, turned, tripped over his book bag.
I think I remember you telling me this story.
Tripped over, like legit fell down, stood up, sat back down, and said, "Oh, what's gonna kick your ass?" Until I fell over my book bag. And he told other people that too, because my friend was
I would have
like,
kicked his ass had I not fallen.
This guy said blah 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 said he was gonna kick your ass, but he tripped over his book bag. And I remember thinking, I was like, why are you telling people this? That's incredible. It's not even cool. But 2 reasons. One, he probably would have kicked my ass because I was a short, very chubby freshman.
Is that why you punched him? Because he was kind of pissing you off?
He was screaming in my face about college football.
That's right.
I'm like, dude, I don't care. And it just, if somebody's screaming in your face, I guess you have the instincts to punch them. Like he was in my face screaming, and it just triggered in my head. I punch you now.
I punch you now.
And then my father, works in the school system I was at, and I was like, simultaneously, it's like, I don't want to punch this dude. And second of all, I don't want to have any problems for my father. So those are the 2 things that went through my head. But
it's very responsible.
He tripped over his book bag, so. I guess I was saved by that book bag. I owe that book bag my life.
You do.
So
should have kept it as a relic. Sir, do you mind if I hold on to this? Because my life depended on it.
But I tend to, like you, stray away from conflict.
I have this, I'm very thankful that I have the gift of profound patience, and I've been able in hectic situations. I've never really had anyone directly mad at me. I've had people in my vicinity mad where they'd kill anyone in their path, essentially. And I've successfully been able to diffuse situations with casual conversation. Yeah. Like, you could cut my head off, but we could also get pizza.
Now that I think about that, I don't know, besides that one incident, if I've ever had one particular individual mad at me.
Right.
I don't think that's ever happened. So.
What about you, Jake? You been in a fight before?
The one I remember most distinctly is in middle school. This kid named Bobby.
His name's Bobby?
Yeah. And I think I was talking to some girl.
I think I know who you're talking about.
You remember him?
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, fuck Bobby.
But we liked the same girl, I think, and he found out, and like he was mad, and he came out and pushed me from the back, and I like turned around and pushed him back. Then I eventually punched him in the face, I think.
Yes.
Did you knock him out?
No.
Oh.
Then we got on the ground, scuffled a little bit before people, like hordes of middle schoolers pulled us apart.
Did you get in trouble with the officer?
No, it was outside of school.
The officer.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was at a party.
Oh, really?
Middle school party.
Dang.
Middle school. I only went to one middle school party, and I thought it was the coolest moment of my life because I'd never been invited to a party. But it was for a kid who was moving away, so we invited basically the whole class.
Gotcha.
So I technically wasn't invited; just the class was invited.
I gotcha.
And that was the only
I don't remember what it was
middle
for.
school party experience I had.
Yeah.
I stood around a bonfire.
I've gotten in another fight. I think
something.
it might have been some point in high school. I don't remember exactly.
I've always heard as a man you need to be in one fight in your life just to man you up.
I mean, I was technically in fights in karate, but again, we had pads on and stuff, so it doesn't really count.
So I heard it's good to just have your ass kicked once in your life.
Nice.
It
Keeps you in check.
Yeah, keeps you in check. Exactly. Builds you up. So I think we should just go around in a circle and just knock each other out.
That's kind of what Slipknot would do before all their shows. Back in the day when Slipknot first started, they'd punch each other in the nose till they all bled before they went on stage. And they'd purposely make themselves puke and stuff before going to play a show.
Fuck.
I know. And they would bring out a severed cow head and stick it on a stake while they played. So that's the kind of stuff I was into in middle school. I told you the first time I saw a Slipknot shirt, I was like, I don't know what that is, but I need to know. And that's how I became a fan. But yeah, I haven't been in a straight-on fight in school or anything, but I have been punched in the back of the head. I think I told that story once where a kid drew a picture of a girl and I thiefed it. You know, that's the reason why they call it the thief Garrett. It's based on my exploits in middle school. But I stole the picture and presented it to, like, it was kind of a douche move, but I was like, oh my gosh, you drew what's-her-face? And he punched me in the back of the head and we both went to the office. And he apologized. Now he's like, I'm sorry I punched you. I'm like, it's fine.
I had a kid punch me in the stomach in 5th grade in the bathroom after PE. And that was like one of the first moments I like lost my breath. I don't know why.
That's a terrible feeling.
He just walked up and was just like,
It hits you right in the right spot. It'll knock the wind out of you.
I had that happen several times when I was wrestling. I'd had the wind knocked out of me, like landing on my back or whatever. And it's bad.
You feel like you're dying. You can't breathe.
This one time it happened in the middle of a match in my freshman year, and I like was instantly knocked out. Well, not like knocked out, but I got pinned and I lost.
Have you ever been like knocked out?
I've never been knocked out.
I've almost lost consciousness like 2 or 3 times.
I've blacked out from consuming alcohol. But
we've heard the tales.
There's one tale you guys have heard.
I caught a football one time in PE. I forgot. It wasn't PE. It was like team sports. Yeah, team sports. Caught a football, landed on the floor, slid into a wall, and got knocked out. I woke up to the coach
kissing you,
making out with me. My pants were off. And he's like, "Oh crap! Like he's
we're trying to revive you.
He's good students, sir."
And him snapping over my head. I was like, "Whoa!" I guess I forgot.
I fell off.
They
one
were
of the
really
machines
freaking out that I might have had a concussion. But,
oh, really?
Yeah. Well, I think that's the first thing that pops to a coach's head is, I hope you don't have a concussion. But I'm pretty sure I didn't.
So I had a concussion when I fell off a machine at Chuck E. Cheese, and I still have the scar on my eyebrow. Can you see this line in my eyebrow? Can you see it? It's kind of covered up right now, but I have a scar right through my eyebrow. And that's because I fell and bashed my face open on a machine at Chuck E. Cheese. And all I remember is being on the machine and then waking up on I don't remember falling. I just remember waking up on the ground with a giant bag of ice on my head. And these 2 like teenage kids that worked at Chuck E. Cheese were like, shit, bro. And I was a little kid. I was like apparently bleeding all down my face. And I don't remember anything after that. My mom said I just went to the hospital and got stitches, but busted my face open at Chuck E. Cheese.
When I sliced my thumb open, I almost blacked out because I was like looking at my bone and blood was flying everywhere. And I went I zoned out to where I couldn't see anything, but I could hear. And then I gained.
It's kind of like a Doctor Strange situation where you leave your body, it can see everything happening.
Well, I just didn't see anything. It was just like I saw white outlines of everything in the car ride as we were going. And I told the guy driving, I was like, dude, like I think I'm about to pass out. I can't see anything. And then he was like, please don't. And he was freaking out. Blood was everywhere.
Can you imagine like that happening to you and then you pass out and then you wake up and it's still not fixed. Like it's still exposed.
It eventually just stopped hurting, which freaks me out even more because I will look down at my thumb and like my bones there, and I'm like, why doesn't this hurt?
Yeah. I mean, like you're all alone and you're stranded somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, say it's like a Walking Dead or something. Like you're in a zombie apocalypse, and like you wake up, you're like, oh shit, what am I gonna do about this wound?
Sucks.
Like I wouldn't know what to do. I don't know anything about.
Oh, I mean,
stuff.
my tendon was severed.
Right.
If I didn't have surgery, my thumb can't move. Like it literally
That's
can't
crazy.
move.
That's a disturbing thought.
How would you
Yeah.
play video games, dude?
I mean, I barely. That's
a
as
terrible
far as I
fear
can
of
bend
mine.
it now. I mean, I played video games for a good 3 months.
Oh, yeah, that
using
thing.
my
I forgot you had
index
to do
finger
that.
instead
That's
of
when we
my
first
thumb.
started,
I
think.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I got
that's
pretty.
terrible.
I played Bloodborne for a decent bit like that. So
That's insane.
I got
Amazing.
used to it.
That's an
a game
accomplishment
right
It
there.
is. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, I beat a few bosses on Bloodborne not using my thumb.
All right.
So.
That's awesome.
Oh, I played a ton of Destiny 2 with it. I'd have to sprint clicking down a left stick with my finger, and I got this like giant
had to, like, claw
blister right here. Yeah.
Oh no.
Hey man, I did what I had to do.
You did. You prevailed.
So.
But the only other Witcher cast member I thought that I could think of was for
That's
Triss.
what we're talking about.
I thought Amber Heard, who was most recently, she's in the Aquaman movie, but a picture was just released of her as Mira in costume, the green outfit. Have you seen this picture? I think with red hair she could play Triss.
What
the
about Emma
personality of
Stone as Triss?
See, I don't think Emma Stone.
She can't act like
No.
that.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I mean, she has red hair, but
That's the only reason I say it. Cause
I think more of the face of Amber Heard could work with Triss, and just the personality of Triss, she could pull her off. I think.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the only two cast members
Let's
I
move
can think
on.
of. Boys, that brings us to community questions, which we also don't have a jingle for yet, but our favorite part of the podcast. There we go. We can communicate.
Ding, 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 ding.
The Crazy Frog anthem would be our transition. We'll play the entire song before community questions. It's appropriate. But thank you to each and every one of you who took time out of whatever you were doing to send us community questions. We keep receiving a plethora of them. We have plenty for either this podcast or Ask IOG going forward. And unfortunately, we meant to put out an episode of Ask IOG during the past 2 weeks, but our schedules have been conflicting so much toward the point where it's nearly been impossible.
We're busy.
We are. We apologize, but we will get Ask IOG, the next episode, out as soon as possible. So we appreciate all of the support. And if you want to reach us for your community questions to be read on this show or on Ask IOG, which is, like we've said, if you don't know already, is exclusive to YouTube. It's our show designed exclusively around community questions. And it's a goal of ours to make it weekly. Right now, it's technically monthly. Hopefully, in the near future, it'll be every 2 weeks. But our goal is to make it weekly. And at that point, we can put it on podcasting services like Spotify, iTunes, etc. But if you want to reach us, you can email us at ItsObviousGaming@gmail.com, Twitter at @obvious_gaming, or on our Discord channel. There's an Ask IOG section. If you join our Discord channel, you can submit them there. So we appreciate all of the support, and we will get to the first one. I think we already covered Justifiables. It's Ronda Bohungalis, Mr. Kyle. Bojangles. Now, he's clarifying his question from last week, Jacob, you may recall. He says, I guess I apologize for not articulating, but I mean the highest kill count in video games, like characters. For example, Kratos, Master Chief, etc. Who do you think has the highest kill count?
I don't know.
I think I probably do, based on me getting the prototype, all the trophies. There was an achievement for killing like hundreds of thousands of people.
I mean, he means which game character.
Yeah,
that's where we were confused last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe Kratos or
hang
Nathan
on.
Drake.
I still don't understand. Let me read.
Which character in video games has the most kills?
Maybe Sora in Kingdom Hearts 2 and
Gotcha.
kills those,
The heartless.
Maybe the
Heartless.
prototype dude.
He kills a lot of people.
There was literally a trophy where I got in a tank and you just have to drive up and down the streets running over like hundreds of people to get
Did you
this
guys see
trophy.
that clip of that crazy guy in New York running his car down the sidewalk in Times Square, hitting like a ton of people in GTA style?
Yeah, I did see
That was awful.
That is awful.
It's like, my goodness.
It's been going on.
I think
more
that
than once
happened in
lately.
Europe too.
Yeah.
I forget where it
Man,
was. Might
it's
have been
not
Italy
good.
or something.
I mean, you do it in GTA and it's hilarious. When you see it in real life, it's kind of horrifying. So
That's
No,
what
it's
video
not
games
good.
do to you, man.
Yeah, it was the video game's fault. I don't know. I guess doesn't it differ because based on like if I played God of War 1,000 times, you know what I mean? I would have killed way more people as Kratos.
yeah, Kratos jumps to mind because he slaughters so many people.
Yeah, but do you understand what I say?
I mean,
Like,
Nathan Drake has killed a lot of people.
he's
too.
killed tons of people.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it like what's canon in terms of God of War.
I mean, I think it
Like,
just means like through a single experience.
okay.
Like through a single moment.
Okay,
this
well,
person-
I
that
think
makes
the
more
hack and
sense.
slash characters
I think we're
haven't-
thinking it. I'm thinking it into it too much.
Yeah, I think the hack and slash characters have the most kills. So let's jump to characters like Kratos and whoever that girl is from what's that game called?
Bayonetta.
Yeah.
Has any character ever like destroyed the Earth in a game we've played?
I don't know. I don't know.
So I was thinking Fall. No. I'm not gonna say Fall. I don't know.
It's probably Kratos.
Kyle, what do you think? Let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
This
Kyle,
is a
please.
good question. It's got to be one of these hack and slash or Dynasty Warriors games where you kill like 80 dudes with one swing of your sword.
All right, maybe even what's her name from Nier Automata? What's her name? It's a number, isn't it?
2B, I think.
Yeah, something
I don't
like
think
that.
she doesn't even kill people as robots.
That's true.
As far as I know.
I mean, those are technically kills.
Are they?
He says kill count. Doesn't say what kind of kills.
Okay. I don't know. That's a good question.
It is. I'm going to say Kratos. For now.
Okay, we'll say Kratos.
Okay. Chipmunk08 says, "Hey guys, I was wondering if you guys would be interested in doing a spoiler series, or maybe even just a segment where you can talk in detail about games like Limbo, Horizon, and Inside. There's a lot more, but that's just a couple I know you guys have touched on very vaguely. It'd be cool to get your guys' thoughts on the endings and big reveals for those kinds of games. Now, I desperately need people in the comments to let us know what you think of this, because I think it'd be awesome maybe once in a while. This doesn't have to be a regular thing, because it isn't like we play games with a crap ton of spoilers all the time. But for games like he said, like Horizon, Inside, and Limbo, and other ones that have big spoiler type endings and story beats throughout it, I think it'd be awesome to have every now and then just have a spoiler cast series where we just cover a few games we've played recently that have a ton of spoilers and just talk about them.
The problem with this is that all of three of us, or at least two of us, need to have played the game all the way through.
Yeah, we play games so it's such that we finished.
So it's only one of us play a game, you know. So.
I think,
and then by the time we finish, the game is just
might be obsolete,
irrelevant.
But going forward, like, for example, you two are almost done with Persona. I've only beaten the second Palace. So, I mean, you guys could do a spoiler cast of Persona if you wanted to when it's done. I'm just saying, going forward, if one or more, or at least two of us finish a game around the same time, I think it'd be something fun to consider, just to do a spoiler cast for all of us to discuss these crazy story things that happen that we have not been able to discuss with Horizon, for example. But I just think that's a cool idea. Like I said, it could just be a rare occurrence where, we happen to all beat this game around the same time. Let's talk about it for a bit.
Okay.
But that's just an idea. Let us know your thoughts down below. We'd love to hear from you. The next one comes from Frosty Shake. He says, "What's up, dudes? I heard you guys talk about..." Sorry?
Hi.
Oh, there we go.
What's
Thank
up?
you. Do you have anything to say, Jacob? Okay.
I'm being shy.
It's okay. You can
Come
say
on,
hello,
say
Jacob.
something. Say hello.
Just say hi real quick. It's okay. Just muster it out real quick. He's hiding now. We've embarrassed him. He's hiding behind the mic. We're sorry, Jacob. We didn't mean to embarrass you in front of roughly 1,000 people. I apologize.
Hello.
There we go. Mustered the courage. Frosty Shake says, "What's up, dudes? I heard you guys talk about gaming PCs more and more often lately. What are some of the games you're looking forward to playing or can't play without a PC now and would like to? And how would you like... How do you think your game time would be divided between PS4 and PC?" I, more than ever, actually have been considering wanting to invest in the gaming PC. That being said, I probably will not acquire one till around Christmas time, but I'm dead set on, as soon as I can afford it, I want one, because I'm so tired of missing out on these great PC experiences. Specifically, Quake Champions, I'm totally obsessed with right now. I cannot stop watching gameplay from the game. I just have that deep love for arena shooters that I've played throughout my childhood up until now. Now, I haven't hardcore played a lot of Quake in the past, but I have played Unreal Tournament, most recently Doom, and just arena shooters. I mean, Halo is not nearly as fast-paced as either of those games, but it is technically an arena shooter. So I've always had a heart for arena shooters, and Quake, just something about it just looks awesome. I love how fast-paced it is. I love the weapons, the character types. Now, a lot of people have been saying it's a little different from the original Quake, but all the hardcore Quake players have said it's still very much Quake, and those of you jumping in that enjoys these types of games will more than likely enjoy it. So I just really want... And I've played plenty of shooters on PC to know that there wouldn't be a massive learning curve for me to get used to keyboard and mouse. And granted, I've been playing on a controller predominantly for years now, but I have played a lot of shooters on keyboard and mouse, so I think I'd be able to jump back in. But of course, first and foremost, I want one terribly for Quake Champions. So I think it's awesome. Definitely Overwatch, of course. We've talked Overwatch. I might even try Destiny on PC at some point. I don't know. But mostly shooters, and of course I'd want to play big RPGs that have ridiculous mods in them just to kill time and have fun.
What about the trophies, man?
I'm not Preston, so I'd be fine without my trophies. But Preston also wants a gaming PC.
I do want one, but I'm not like
dying for one.
I really wanted. I almost bought one, like literally on the verge of checking out with like all the crap to get one for Black Desert Online.
Is that out yet?
Yeah, it's been out. But I've heard a lot of back and forth on it, like if it's the in-game stuff, blah, 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 all the MMO crap that people talk about. So I kind of lost interest in it a little bit. That was the only game that I was really freaking out like that I had to have one. Definitely interested in Quake. Trying to think of another. Player Ground, what's it called? Unknown or something?
Player Unknown.
Yeah,
Battlegrounds.
that looks fun.
Can you guys bring me? It kind of.
It's like
have an
Battle
idea of what it
Royale,
is.
the game.
Yes.
Okay.
So I guess a movie reference would be like
Battle
Hunger
Royale.
Games, sort of.
That's what I was going to say.
Battle
Games.
Royale is Hunger Games.
It's like King of the Hill.
Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's pretty much it.
It drops like, I think it's 50 players onto a play space.
And whoever survives the longest wins.
Yep.
Yeah.
You,
Okay,
you start out with nothing. You scour villages and stuff.
I figured that's what it was because I've seen a ton of, like Kotaku's highlight reel. That's mostly where I see highlights from player notes, and it looks so fun, just in a ridiculous way.
That kind of game's never catered to me.
That seems like the game everybody's playing right now. I'm sure I wouldn't become obsessed with it. I'm sure that'd be something to just diddle around with a little bit.
But another reason I want to give me a PC is one, for our streaming purposes. Not only would it open the floodgates of a ton more things to stream, but it would just make it significantly easier. But I have that in the back of my mind too. But just I want to have every possible experience at my disposal. Like, oh, this is coming to PC only. Well,
see, that's why you never finish games, because you want to play everything.
What do you mean?
Like, you take so long to finish games. You're always.
I don't necessarily want to
play
play everything. Like, for example, I probably won't get to For Honor anytime soon, if ever. And I loved my time with the beta or the demo or whatever it was, but I don't know if I'm really dying to play that. But I don't know. PC is just calling to me more than ever, specifically for games like Quake Champions, because I just love that stuff and I can't play it right now.
I hope you get to soon.
So, and also I've heard that there are one or two different softwares I will need that are exclusive to PC for what I'm going to be doing for a living. So I'll inevitably have to own a PC anyway. So I might as well invest and make it as badass as possible. Then 2 weeks later, it'd be obsolete. So
I've been wanting to get back into Final Fantasy 14. So I was thinking, maybe PC, but I might as well just play
so many
better
MMOs, man.
And I loved my time with Old Republic.
What? Like what, Jacob? One?
Maybe one.
Maybe one?
I don't know. Guild Wars. What happened to Guild Wars, too?
I don't know. I mean, Final Fantasy 14 is
Elder
still
Scrolls
going.
Online.
Yeah, I know it's big.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 14.
Final Fantasy 14 is awesome, but you can plug up a keyboard and mouse and play it on your PlayStation. That's how I played it.
There's also...
and there's trophies. So
there's that Star Wars MMO.
That's true.
But is that Star Wars?
Yeah.
And
I loved Old Republic. Yeah. I loved it.
I mean, it's not like known as a great MMO either.
No,
I mean, it's still going though.
If you like Star Wars, it's fun.
Right.
So
yeah, there's not a lot of big MMOs left. It's kind of a dying genre. So
I mean, the bulk of my memories playing a shooter on PC in addition to Unreal Tournament, even though I don't even think I ever owned Unreal Tournament. I think Preston and I just played the demo over and over and over and over again on my parents' old PC. But Halo 1 specifically, all I played for hours on end. I mean, played every map, but primarily I played Blood Gulch, Capture the Flag over and over and over and over again, and I absolutely owned that map. It was mine. I could not be beaten. I could literally beat a team. It was similar to my Call of Duty accomplishment. I should have mentioned this in accomplishments. I could literally beat a team 1-on-4 every single time in Blood Gulch because I just knew every nook and cranny and exactly what to do and how to score, even if there was 4 people on the other team. So,
speaking of Halo, I used to play that at school. Did you ever do that?
I did. I remember that phase where for some reason Halo was on every single computer at our school, and when no one was paying attention, we would all hop on Halo and play LAN games.
I think I had
all
this.
day.
It was either this accounting class or a computer science class, and I always played. Like when I finished my work, I would jump straight to Halo.
Yeah, it was a situation where I was in one class where there were cubicles in a class where we would all be playing Halo, and when the teacher would come around, we'd just minimize it and be like, "We're doing our work," and he'd go away. We'd bring it back up and keep playing. So I don't know how that happened. How did it get on all the computers?
I just know it was
maybe
on
some
hard
tech
drives.
wizard figured out where like the main server was, and it installed it on everything. I don't know.
Tech we played a N64 emulator. We had it like on a USB drive. We played that.
Nice.
During computer classes.
Yeah, I saved a copy of it onto a USB stick, so I could just, if a computer didn't have it, I could just stick it in and play it.
That's cool. Nice. Yeah, well, good times playing PC games, and hopefully in the near future we will dive into the PC ecosystem. The PS4, man, it'll always be home.
I might this summer. After a couple more paychecks, I might.
I'll be very jealous, Jacob. Believe me, I will be. Perhaps I'll come pay you a visit and enjoy your fiber internet while I'm at it.
Maybe.
They installed fiber this week in my neighborhood.
Oh, good for you.
We can't get fiber because we're stuck on Comcast indefinitely, basically. So, F me, am I right? Legcano says, I'm so hyped for COD World War II. Do you know any World War II movies that would be fun to watch before the game comes out? Saving Private Ryan, Band of Brothers, those are titles I had written down, not his question. I was like, man, he really knows the good ones. I listed just the mainstream big ones, like Saving Private Ryan, obviously. Most people have heard of that
What's
one.
the one about the sniper?
There's
Russian
multiple
sniper?
ones. Enemy at the Gates.
That might be it. Is there also one about a German sniper?
That
title didn't sound familiar.
Enemy at the Gates is the one where it follows the Russian soldier. It's what's his name from? He was most recently in King of Arthur. He's the villain.
I didn't see.
He's in.
I don't think anybody saw that movie, Jacob.
Which movie? King Arthur.
Yeah.
Is it not out yet?
No, it's out. It just.
What's his name? He's in Robert Downey Jr.'s Sherlock Holmes movies too. He plays.
Watch that
Watson.
crap.
Those movies are good. I like him. He's a British guy. What's his name? I can't remember, but he's the main protagonist and the guy from most recently Westworld. He plays the man in the black outfit. The man in black.
The movie, yeah.
He's the villain.
Yeah.
He's the German soldier.
I remember
the German
that,
sniper. That's a really good one. Band of Brothers is a great series. I think it was Starz or HBO, one of the two.
Mm-hmm.
Band of Brothers is good. The Pacific is another great series. Flags of Our Fathers is the American side of the taking of Iwo Jima. And then there's the mirror image of that movie, which is from the Japanese perspective, Letters from Iwo Jima. Both directed by Clint Eastwood, both fantastic. Especially Letters from Iwo Jima. I think that's probably my favorite out of the two. Fury, most recently with Brad Pitt, Shia LaBeouf, the guy who's playing the Punisher, a couple other guys in there.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was excellent. I love that. I like how it's just contained to the one unit in the tank, too. Fury was good. Inglourious Basterds, more of a comedic adventure type, but
that's a fun one.
A solid World War II flick, nonetheless. One of Quentin Tarantino's best,
completely
I'd say.
historically
Nazis.
accurate.
Yes, completely accurate. That is correct.
Killing some Nazis.
That's just a fun one for sure. And lastly, it's a bit different one. And there's countless others I could announce, but I really enjoyed Defiance with Daniel Craig.
The sci-fi sci-fi TV series.
Exactly.
Yeah, Watch the show, play the game.
Watch the show, play the game. That's exactly right, Jacob. But it's the one where he's Jewish and he and the other Jewish people hide in the woods and they fight off Nazis.
Oh, that's with Daniel Craig.
Mm-hmm.
Did you just say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that one. I mean, there's plenty more I can name, but even the ones that aren't really war-centered. For example, I think The Pianist, but I like saying The Pianist. If you say it quickly, it sounds like Penis. The Penis, with Adrian Brody.
There's one that came out recently with Cumberbatch.
Oh,
what was that one called?
Where he's the computer guy.
Mm-hmm.
Imitation Game.
Yeah,
that was a pretty good one.
I enjoyed that movie.
Mm-hmm.
That was a solid list, Garrett.
Yeah, you're welcome. Those are just some of my favorites.
I haven't seen Saving Private Ryan in a while.
It's a good one.
I'd like to rewatch that before World War II.
I remember when I was a little kid, my dad showed me the opening D-Day mission, and it freaked me out as a little kid.
Yeah?
It's just so brutal.
It's a good movie.
But yeah, guys, that'll do it for Community Questions this week.
Dude, that sounds really cool.
Yep.
That was episode 103 of the It's Obvious Gaming podcast, the show where my two best friends and I get together every single week to discuss video games, obviously. You can find all of our content, including the video version of this podcast, over at youtube.com/ItsObviousGaming. Please check us out on iTunes, subscribe to us, and leave us a very nice review. I actually just checked the reviews yesterday, and we hadn't received a new one. But
we're 29 right now.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Which is still great, but please help us out there because we would love to be on the new and noteworthy list. That would help us out exponentially.
It would. It'd do great things for us.
Also, check out our Twitch when we stream. We want to be on a Tuesday, Thursday schedule, but obviously that has been pretty hard for us to meet recently. But eventually we'll get on track and we'll keep that going steady.
Mm-hmm.
But but just keep in touch with us on Discord and Twitter, and we'll give updates about when we'll actually be streaming and stuff.
Yes, I want to throw this out there too. We could use your help in this. If there are any podcasts you guys listen to that are either similar or relatively in the same realm as our podcast, we are looking to collaborate with other podcasts, whether they be a guest on here, we be a guest on their shows, strictly to network with additional podcasts and also for the sake of growth, because we are looking just for any opportunities to collaborate whatsoever. So if there's any podcast out there that you think is realistic for us to try to collaborate with, be like, hey, you should check these guys out.
I mean, we're kind of a big deal right now because PewDiePie said our name.
Oh yeah, tell that story. I don't think people understood when you tried to tell them on Discord.
Oh, PewDiePie was live streaming and I just donated money, and I was like, tell people to come check us out, and he did, and instantaneously we got like 40 subscribers, and like people were commenting on one of our videos. I was like, oh, sick, and then it just stopped.
Yeah,
but
it was a very momentary
still nonetheless
victory.
Yeah,
but to the fact that the biggest YouTuber in the world was like, it barely got it out correctly. Something Obvious Gaming, like 40 people instantly subscribed.
Yeah.
So if you're listening now
cool.
because of PewDiePie, thanks for being here.
Yep.
But that is funny to say that PewDiePie, of all people, gave us a quote-unquote shout
Well, I
out.
mean, I paid him.
Exactly.
So.
But just the fact that he
didn't
said
do it out
that
of the
is
good
cool.
of his heart.
No, I'm just going to give these guys a shout-out because they deserve it.
Yeah.
No. But seriously, though, if there's any podcast you guys enjoy and you think that it's even within the realm of possibility of us reaching out, possibly connecting with them for collaboration purposes, we greatly appreciate it. So
Absolutely. But, gentlemen, unless I'm missing something.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Just as always, thank you for all the support. I'm very grateful for all of you tuning in, not only the podcast, but those of you that tune into the Let's Plays on our YouTube channel and such. We greatly appreciate it because we have a ton of fun. And just keep supporting us on Twitch if you're willing to do so, because we will eventually get on that regular schedule. We've just been struggling these past couple of weeks. So.
Yeah, and I know I kind of mentioned it at my opening monologue before the podcast actually started, but please check out our Discord channel. Mm-hmm. I saw one comment a while ago talk about how typically Discord channels die out very fast, but ours is still going pretty strong. Like there's a lot of people talking on it, and we stay pretty involved with it. So check us out there. It stays pretty active and stuff, and you can meet members of the community. Everybody's really nice and cool.
Totally.
So definitely check that out. But I think that will do it, gentlemen. It's been an absolute pleasure talking with you today, and I look forward to doing it again next weekend.
Absolutely. Jacob and I are excited. We're going on a little date tonight. My girlfriend is going to be the third wheel. We're going to see Alien Covenant.
Nice.
Yep.
Well, I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for the invite.
Absolutely.
So yeah. All right. We'll see you guys next week.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.